11. It moves Bilal Sadozai, Nathan Beagley, and also Scott Halliday to the bench, and Cohen Allen drops out of Peter Gaffney's matchday squad. Altogether, Jakub Mudnic with 8 league goals is the team's top scorer, but Malachi Love Samira has great pedigree in the cup, and Kai Bolton, of course, scored the key goal in the round of 32 that proved to be the match winner. Let's take a look at Olympic Kingsway. They played on Saturday the 9th of August, so a quick turnaround for them. It was a 3-1 win against Fremantle City, and they make 3 changes to the lineup. Aaron Williams was completely rested for that match. Mitch Oxborough, the captain, started it on the bench, and they also bring in Josh Sampson to the starters. It moves Hewings to the bench. A couple of other new faces in Leithed and Orr are added back to the matchday squad, and no spot for Eunice Sow, who drops out altogether from David Tuff's 11. So there's Olympic Kingsway, as I'm joined by Phil Moss for this match. Mossy, they were the talk of the round of 32. They pulled off one of the great cup sets in the history of this competition, but now they find themselves on the road against an NPL opponent that's very tough at home, and well, they carry a weight of expectation here for the state of WA.
Yeah, or does it inject them with the confidence to go much further in this cup competition? Of course, Liam Boland has come out and said this will probably be his last, so there's a little bit of extra motivation there as well. But, yeah, it won't be easy tonight for them. Brisbane City, of course, with a fantastic result. They've had a week off to freshen up, so really looking forward to this one tonight.
Such has been the nature of the weather, as we see David Tuff there, the Olympic Kingsway head coach. The reason Brisbane City didn't play at the weekend was due to a heavy pitch and rain, but it's come at something of a convenient time to allow them to rest up for this cup tie right here, whereas Olympic Kingsway, the matches are coming thick and fast. Zach Keenan is tonight's referee, assistants are Bailey Jacobson and James Sherry, and the fourth official is Jack Powers. So it was extra time and 120 minutes to victory for Olympic Kingsway in the round of 32. Brisbane City scored 2 late goals, and as Jakub Mudnic kicks us off here, the round of 16 continues in the Hahn Australia Cup with the last teams standing from their respective states. Brisbane City against Olympic Kingsway, and there's one key out from the round of 32, Mossy. Marcus Barnes, who scored the sealing goal in stoppage time for Brisbane City, the English-Jamaican striker who's only recently arrived in the country. He suffered a hamstring injury earlier this month and still hasn't been past fit. It was only 10 days ago, so don't expect him back for a little while. Maybe if they win tonight and make the quarterfinal, but he's a big target man striker, and his absence will be felt. Brisbane City are going to have to find different avenues to goal tonight as a result. Yeah,
that's right, and as you mentioned in the opener too, Teo, Kai Bolton was the other goal scorer, so they've still got goals in them out there, but that is an out for them, there is no doubt about that. But it's amazing if they do get through tonight. It's amazing the powers that may create for the rehabilitation of that hamstring.
Well, especially if they draw an A-League opponent in the next round as well. Here's a long restart after an early foul. Barely a minute ticked by, and there is Kai Bolton with his first touch of the game as the ball is cleared long and kept away from Masashi Yokoyama, who's started as one of the forwards tonight for Brisbane City. They haven't been prolific scorers in the league. It's one of the reasons that they have lost touch with the top 4. Here is Yokoyama, a looping ball over the top and a double fist away coming from Adrian Sinagra to clear his lines. No nonsense goalkeeping there.
No, he decided quite early to punch. He probably could have caught it, but as all good goalkeeper coaches will tell you, once you make your decision, don't change it.
And the ball is knocked away from Bolton for the first corner of the game from Ryan Lowry. Familiar name to Wellington Phoenix and A-League fans from pre-COVID. Last played in the A-League in 2019. And so an early set piece here. Wouldn't Brisbane City love to set the tone, given that they have found goal scoring tricky at times this season? Get the crowd going as well. Here comes the corner kick, and it's dealt with comfortably at the near post. Mudnic slipped. That's a completed pass off his back. It hit his number as he went to ground. Now at the edge of the box, it's headed away. Bit of a wrestle for possession. Lat Matyang successfully brought the ball to ground. And we see Josh Langdon, who was perhaps the... a clearance here. It's not going to bounce kindly because the striker's given himself up in an offside position. But for the Mike Cockerell medal, safe to say Josh Langdon would have been perhaps top of the leaderboard after the round of 32 after his virtuoso performance and some miraculous saves in the game against Olympic FC. So if he puts in another good showing tonight, win or lose, he could absolutely find himself in contention for that medal when it's determined. Shouts for handball, not heeded by the referee, who's letting the players sort things out in these early exchanges. Matiang knocked off the ball solidly by Corey Brown. Brisbane City consolidate through Ethan Doherty and now Mirko Crociati, the right back, the Italian who is captain of this Italian-backed club. Brisbane City, the Azzurri. They're playing a bit of a lighter blue than most teams that go by the name Azzurri, it must be said. Even lighter than the lightest Marconi blue you might have seen over the years, Mossy.
Yeah, it's more the colour of the water over in Italy at the moment, which I'm seeing many photos of friends who are travelling. Looks absolutely beautiful over there. So maybe they're trying to emulate the colour of the water.
Kingsway just trying to build into the game at the moment. Throw-in taken by Labib. Both teams think it's their throw, but the decision goes Brisbane City's way. Corey Brown, first season back in the NPL this campaign. Labib launches it long. Unretrievable ball to go and chase for Joseph Hobson. We're seeing a long ball here, probing, but to no one in particular, cleared from the centre of defence. A solid header which finds its way out for a Kingsway throw-in. Kingsway are 3 points off the top of NPL WA, but they've played a game extra now, so Bayswater City are looking like they might close out the premiership there.
It's good to see Corey Brown out there. Obviously, his days at Brisbane Roar are over, but at 31, he's still got plenty to offer. It's always the hardest thing you'll do in your career is come down the levels. So you've got to find an extra level and lead the way, of course, by example.
Well, we've seen the ball in his hands more than at his feet in these early exchanges here. Yet again, the ball is cleared out for a throw. Brown wasting no time. Loves Samira, rebounds off his chest. Mudnic. And he loses control of possession. Well, neither team has really come charging out of the blocks here. Very much a feeling out process early in this one.
Yeah, it's been scrappy, hasn't it? Neither team's really got a chance to put their foot on the ball yet and start to build any sustained pressure. Probably say the home side's have a greater field position this far.
Malachi loves Samira on the right side of the box. A little back heel was hopeful. Couldn't find a teammate, so Oxborough clears away for Kingsway. The ball is seized upon by Ethan Doherty. And City look organised as they reclaim possession. I mentioned they went to penalties last time they played a week ago in the Queensland Cup semi-final. They were 1-0 up right until the very end and then copped a stoppage time equaliser against none other than Olympic FC, the very team they were playing in the round of 32. It was a very, I've got to say, Mossy, it was a very different looking game to the one where Olympic absolutely battered them in the Australia Cup. And Josh Langdon was put through nowhere near as much work, and yet he still emerged the hero because his team won on penalties. So he proved inevitable after all. No doubt he'll be up for tonight. As we see, and a very aggressive press here from Tyler Garner, and good sportsmanship as he apologises and picks up his fallen opponent, Ollie Plusnen, as a result.
Yeah, that's a cup challenge, isn't it, from Garner? Just asserting his authority nice and early.
One characteristic of Langdon is he's not afraid to roam out of his penalty area and help the defence pass the ball around from the back. But they've been a little impatient tonight, Brisbane City. The long ball is forced once again here. maybe they saw something in their research that suggested that Kingsway might have been susceptible to the early long ball. So far, the defence has had everything covered. As we see the ball driven into the stands, it gives us a chance to go down to the sideline for the first time tonight and check in with Josh McLean. Josh, how do we find you this evening?
Yeah, good evening, gents. It's a fabulous atmosphere down here on the sideline. About 50-odd fans have travelled all the way from Perth to support Kingsway, but there's more than that supporting them here tonight, and I'm told that Brisbane Olympic fans have turned out for a couple of reasons. One, because of course they share a similar name, and two, they don't particularly like Brisbane City, so they are cheering against the home side tonight.
Fantastic to hear, and you know, you see that around the country when the Croatian teams or the Macedonian teams travel, so why wouldn't you get it if Olympic FC and Olympic Kingsway want to form an alliance between allies? Why wouldn't you do it?
Sounds like a family squabble.
No love lost between Olympic and Brisbane City, and we're also reliably informed that Olympic gave Kingsway their ground for training as well, Mossy. So, and we saw that when Stirling Lions went down to Melbourne to play their round of 32 tie. Speaking of the other NPL West Australia team, they played at Preston Lions venue in their training. Let's stay with action here because Bolton's done really well backtracking. Finds Mudnich. Can he create here from the left? He can't, but he does win his team a corner as it's blocked out by Oxborough. And there's a look at the stand, which is almost always full on the big nights at Spencer Park. So we've seen one corner already. It didn't get near a blue shirt, so have they honed their radar now? Almost 10 minutes in. Brisbane City here. There's no obvious target to aim for. No Man Mountain Colossus really to drop it on the head of. So it's all about the delivery. Here it comes from Galindo. Near post is the plan. A scrap ensues. And in spite of loud appeals for a penalty, Oxborough clears away.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were appealing for a handball or the pull on a shirt there. But either way, the delivery was better than the first attempt. Into a dangerous area. It was quite low. Olympic Kingsway didn't really deal with it.
Some fleet-footed defending prevents the counter-attack from Kingsway materialising into much. You see Langdon gesticulating with his wave of the arms. And again, Brisbane City trying to move the ball forward. As soon as they take possession, no real hesitation and willingness to knock it around so far. And Bolton is unable to forge a path forward. Oliver Annis clearing for Kingsway. Now Labib. Look at the space he's got to roam in midfield already. Plays it over to Tyler Garner. Labib continues his run. Here is the return ball. Labib went for it on the tight angle. It was always going to be a high degree of difficulty.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it was probably the wrong option as well because he had players in support. Tyler Garner was in a fantastic position. If Labib had been able to cut that back, you can see him just there in front of screen number 7. But an opportunity to get him behind. They didn't make the most of it.
Still a move that he started at the base of midfield and then tried to finish in the penalty area. Galindo with the ball out to the right. Crociati, first time cross, which is cleared by Aaron Williams from the centre of defence. Mudnich, Yokoyama. Now Brown. Mudnich, an ambitious pass, which is cleared. Again, just Hobson, a lone striker for Kingsway at present, a bit isolated up top, and so Brisbane City able to comfortably consolidate possession. Crociati happy to go backwards, and this is slightly more patient now from Brisbane City here. Still a real intent to move forward. Love Samira. A dink over the top. Bolton making a run. And well played by Sinagra to lead out with his arms in a legal manner. No risk of legging the opponent. And he cleared the ball away. And now the counter-attack is very much on. Garner breaks onto the ball. gaps to exploit here for Kingsway. Tyler Garner, well, his touch abandoned him there.
Yeah, he just showed a little bit too much of it to Ollie Plusnen, didn't he? Plusnen gets a toe in, averts the danger. It was looking like a very promising situation for Garner. You can tell he likes to get one-on-one with his defender. He didn't get his action right on that occasion.
I am shocked, Mossy, given what a arm wrestle it was in the round of 32 between Brisbane City and Olympic FC. The gaps that Kingsway have had to exploit already and the space that some of their players have had to run into. The Brisbane Olympic players must be watching on thinking, where was that when we played them? This goes to show styles make fights. We might be on for a good one here if the open nature of this game is anything to go by. Here's Hobson off chasing a lost cause, and that's well fielded by Langdon right up at the edge of his penalty area.
Yeah, it can be different strokes for different folks as well. The coaches no doubt will have done their analysis, and maybe Brisbane City are prepared to give a little bit more space in midfield to Olympic Kingsway. Where there's risk, you're hoping there's some reward.
So they're starting Mark Galindo tonight. He only came off the bench in the round of 32 ties, so different profile of midfielder. Maybe means a little bit less backtracking, thus some of the space we've seen available so far. But right now Brisbane City's on the ball. This is where things can be dangerous. The first pass on the counter-attack. It's been short-circuited here for now. And a battle for Matiang, and eventually his strength prevails and he wins the foul. And it was Galindo and Crociati who ultimately grabbed a bit too much of the shirt and gave away the free kick.
Only one fistful of the shirt.
Diagonal ball here is hoping for Labib. It's a good defensive header to prevent the ball landing kindly, but a hospital ball. Was there a high boot? The referee saw nothing untoward. Garner consolidates possession for Kingsway. And that's a great turn in midfield. Doherty wins the ball back. Look at the diagonal ball, very nearly releasing Love Samira. And Sanagra had to be sharp out off his line. Space to dictate here for Noah McGrath. Mudnich. Aaron Williams intercepts the ball at the centre of defence. There is Tyler Garner. He's been one of the live wires so far in this contest. Certainly not troubling the scorers too often in NPL WA this season, just the two in league action. And in qualifying, he did score in the vital game that helped Kingsway qualify for the national stages, which was a 2-2 draw against Balcatta Etna, which ended up going to penalties where Kingsway prevailed. Oxborough. Probing on the left is Annis. Leaves it with Mitch Oxborough. That's an incisive pass from Oxborough. And Crociati went to ground early, but went to ground successfully and raked the ball away with a slight challenge. It's a great pass though. Williams with a solid header as the Kingsway defence came up a little higher. And it's going to be answered with a long ball to have them back on their heels. Kai Bolton can't chase it down, and ultimately it runs long.
Just had a touch too much on it from Corey Brown. It was a good incisive run from Bolton. Brown picked it out. I think the dampness on the pitch probably helped it skid. Just a touch too far for Bolton to haul it in.
Quick drink, quick instruction. We've been temporarily distracted by matters in the other game where this is a spoiler, so mute us for 5 seconds if you don't want to know. Heidelberg have taken the lead against Western Sydney Wanderers. Oh, that's what Cup nights are all about. Anyway, we won't mention it again unless absolutely necessary. And for those of you watching both games back to back, I will give you a warning if we refer to the other contest. Right now, though, the action is at Kingsway's end. Hobson dispossessed in the end by the combination of Doherty and Crociati. Now Galindo from the base of midfield. Mudnic. And he found Love Samira, whose first touch dragged the ball down to the goalkeeper. You see their incisive passing. In the space of two well-struck passes, they'd found themselves at the edge of the penalty area. Yeah,
that was a wonderful pass by Mudnic. He really, it was Modric-like, actually, from Mudnic. But it was a wonderful pass. Love Samira should have done better with that. It was played in at a nice pace. It was along the ground.
You see the press is advancing here. Kingsway hunting the ball. And Brisbane City able to hold their nerve and clear. And now there might be gaps to exploit in the other direction. Yokoyama turns and surveys the options, and his pass just wasn't on the money. But he's going to go in and win his own ball back. Well played by Masashi Yokoyama. And now Malachi Love Samira. He breaks to the byline and puts it straight in the keeper's gloves.
Well, they had a 2-on-1 at the back post. Brisbane City, it's a shame he couldn't just get a little bit more height on that clip to the back post area. You could see he was trying to do it. He just didn't get the right contact on the ball. And in the end, it was easy pickings for Sinagra in the Olympic Kingsway goal.
Here's Aaron Williams on the ball. His 50th game for Kingsway since returning to WA. Ever since the end of his A-League career, he was prominent in the Cup. As we see a long shot here from Bolton. And he stings the palms of Adrian Sinagra. Saw it all the way, but it still required some saving with a late dip.
Yeah, he got down well, Sinagra, but look at this. You can see what's on Bolton's mind. From the moment he receives that ball, he sees he's half a yard, gets the ball out of his feet, gets good purchase on the strike. Can't afford to be giving him that sort of space in those areas. That was a real sighter for him. But it all came from Olympic Kingsway giving the ball away in dangerous areas.
And now the instant response from Kingsway, not quite. Cleared at the edge of the box, but a second chance. Samson won the ball. Now Garner puts it to the edge of the 6-yard box. It's not cleared initially, and it sits up for Hobson. And he's foiled. Was there a handball in there? Oh, a decent shout against Doherty. And the referee stands pat. What a save from Langdon. He's done it again. That initial save was point blank.
That was incredible goalkeeping. Josh Langdon take a bow. Here we see Olympic Kingsway working the way into the area. It looks as though Brisbane City have got control, but they give it away. It's Garner down the right-hand side, and they don't deal with it. They take it too lightly, and it falls nicely. That is an incredible reflex save.
And was there a handball there by Doherty? I think that Mathiang's got a pretty good case that maybe there was an arm involved.
I reckon if we had VAR, it might be going back to the screen or the VAR bunker. But Joe Hobson is wondering how on earth that strike is not in the back of the Brisbane City net.
So the quality of chance is getting better and better. Bolton with the shot on target at one end, and then Hobson foiled at close range at the other.
We should have known it was just coming to the boil.
Well, it was a very cagey first 7 or 8 minutes, but the game has found a bit of rhythm now. Peter Gaffney is up off his chair, shouting instructions, hoping to prevent a repeat of the chaos that was in his defensive penalty area just a moment ago. And good midfield work from McGrath will make it so. Galindo managed to slide it on, and Love Samira dispossessed. Hawkesborough steadying presence. Hurried pass has been given away. McGrath. Mudnic coughs up the ball. McGrath went to ground with a slide challenge, but not to his team's advantage. Josh Sampson is fouled right on the halfway line. So if we get it done in the 90, we're about a quarter of the way through the night's action, but there must be a winner tonight, so extra time and penalties if required. that Brisbane City will comfortably regain possession.
Well, not for the first time players are losing their footing. It does appear to be quite wet out there. I'm sure that's having an impact on the accuracy of passing at times. Players just unsure of their footing.
And you can certainly see why they didn't play at the weekend. As another crunching challenge comes in from Aaron Williams, and now Matt Yang takes over possession, and he's dispossessed by the backtracking Doherty, who came in from the blind side. I'll tell you what, they're the nice guys of the Cup, Brisbane City. It's a couple of times now we've seen them offer a hand to a fallen opponent.
Yeah, with a wry smile, no doubt. But Matty Yang, if he wishes he could have that again. I don't think he was as direct as he could have been. Didn't have the intent to get one-on-one and take his man on. It was also Tyler Garner who was making ground outside him on the right-hand side. This little reverse pass might have been the go.
See the possession count there. 65-35 split at this early stage, but it hasn't stopped Olympic from looking very dangerous. So we see a sweeping cross in from Corey Brown, cleared away. It's the nice touch off Brown, out for a throw. Hobson lays it off for Garner. Now he's got a cause to go and chase. Just the one man waiting in the box, but some sturdy defending. And he's taken a late slip, so it's definitely not the greatest underfoot. And you can see on the near side to our cameras, there's the sideline, and then there's where the sideline used to be, almost the brown streak parallel across the pitch. And that was there in the round of 32 as well. So this pitch gets plenty of traffic. It's holding up best it can at this stage of the season. Here's another chance for Kingsway. Labib laid it back. He retakes possession just outside the box. Garner. A curling cross and a good confident catch, and a little bit of afters there, which Josh Langdon didn't love from William Richards, and he lets him know all about it. I guess when you know that your opponents will be 5,000 kilometres away as of tomorrow, you don't have to worry too much about a long memory.
No, but look, he took it comfortably enough, didn't he, Langdon? But there was no runner for Olympic Kingsway getting across the front of the goalkeeper, which was the key differentiator between a tussle with the goalkeeper and a goal, because it was good delivery into quite a flat area.
Kingsway have shown that they do have a moment of quality in them in this game. They seem to be getting closer and closer to all of the parts executing in unison. Brisbane City perhaps on notice. Here is Langdon to Ollie Plusnen. Speaking of key goal scorers, it was his goal that took Brisbane City to the round of 32 in the national stage. Centre back, as he's been cast tonight. Long ball here from Garner. Hobson stuck between two defenders who did their job. Doherty won the initial header. Brown, Plusnen, given away. Labib. You see the body language of Hobson, one of a frustrated, isolated striker.
Yeah, look, it's just a game of transition, isn't it? Both teams really producing a lot of unforced errors, giving the ball away. The opposition then get a chance to transition. There's no real patterns of play and sustained passing that builds pressure on the opponent at this stage.
Yokoyama back to Galindo. Love Samira. Wheels onto the ball. There's his burst of acceleration. Look how far he knocks the ball out in front. He backed his speed. He got to the cross and he nearly put it on the head of Yokoyama. Good defensive header from Aaron Williams to get it away. Brown as Brisbane City reload. Noah McGrath. Heard the shout from Brown on the left. First time cross. Off the head of Williams, but not away. Bolton, and Sanagra is up to collect.
Good passage of play from the home side. Very good passage of play down the right-hand side, and you could see the pace of Galindo down that right-hand side, and that was good delivery into a very good area. But again, the Kingsway defence were up to the task.
So Brisbane City have responded. They are back on top in general play. Kai Bolton wills himself onto the ball. Mudnich heard the shout in midfield. Galindo. Crociati advancing. He drives it in low. Not sure that was the intention, but he gets another chance and recycles play. As is customary, Langdon comes all the way up to the base of midfield to help the passing move and allows Brisbane City to leave one extra number committed forward.
The sweeper keeper, the extra player in build-up.
As the ball breaks, may have been coming back from an offside position, but a forcefully struck back pass goes out for a corner, and it could have been so much worse for Kingsway.
I was about to say, if that was on target, it would have been a very, very interesting race for the ball.
So the fans hoping to find their voice again as the home side has a third corner kick of the night. They've all been over on the left-hand side. And the first two were dropped in at the near post. There's Mark Galindo about to mix it up here. Two in the wall, and the two do their job. Not often you see that, but Kingsway have decided it's dangerous enough that they need a two-man wall defending this corner.
Well, I'm sure there's a marking down there on the line, but they looked
a bit closer
to me than the 10 metres or the 12 yards.
Well, now that it's a left-footed taker, they're both going to drop off. Out-swinging corner, same result, cleared away. Malachi Love-Samira takes possession. Galindo. Mudnich. And his cross is going to worm its way out for a goal kick in the end. And it gives us a chance at the half-hour mark to go back down to Josh McLean on the sidelines. Josh, what have you got for us?
Hello, gents. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes before Liam Boland is introduced. Of course, scored those 2 goals against Victory and is the leading goal scorer in the Hahn Australia Cup. But what I am told is Oliver Annis is the fines master inside the Olympic team. And I'm told that he has been very, very busy of late. Given the fact that Boland scored those 2 goals and is the leading scorer, he has been mentioned in the media a lot. And every time your name comes up in the media, you've got to open up the wallet and pay a fine, guys. So he's a busy man at the moment.
Thank you, Josh, as we see Kingsway here through Hobson, the cut across, Matiang, and now Oxborough. It takes a big deflection and headed away to safety by Corey Brown. Corner kick coming up. Boland might be on the bench, but the attack still looks pretty potent.
Yeah, that's right, and not for the first time. Kingsway working their way into this opposition box, and Oxborough, that's quite intelligent from him. He just tried to pick his spot there. The Brisbane City defence was up to the challenge. Just building the pressure maybe a little bit as we see Oxborough lining up with his left foot.
So Kingsway with the corner. To the far post it goes. Aaron Williams the target. He had 2 defenders for company, and now the goalkeeper sliding in. Langdon able to claim.
Well, gee, I wonder what the fine was for Liam Boland after the video I saw online today. The Hahn Australia Cup social media released a video on Liam and his family.
Here's the thing, I mean, when he was the hero of Green Gully and then he moved to Hume City the year after, we had him at the Football Victoria Media Day for promotional shoots the next season. He's a ripper bloke. I'm sure he's paying those fines with a smile, Mossy. He's always got time for the media. Here's the ball down the right for Brisbane City. Crociati controls it well outside of the foot cross. And up and underhead, it doesn't get it away. And now, after 3 unsuccessful corners, or 4 unsuccessful corners from one side, as we see Liam Boland warming up off to the side of the pitch, his team has to defend their first corner from the right-hand side.
Yeah, and you can see Crociati shaking his head, and he's got every right to, because he got himself into a good area and he was looking for an option. And the options had made their runs in the box. No one was busting their backside to get to the edge of the box, and that's what he was looking for. So just giving his teammates a little bit of a rocket.
And so, as we see Mirko Crociati there, Corey Brown, his left foot, whipping it in and cleared away by Sinagra. Love Samira, great touch out of the night sky. And then he tried to do all himself, but the shot just kept rising over the crossbar.
Well, his first touch and second touch were outstanding. His third touch, not so. Just couldn't quite get his balance, as we see another shot of Liam Bowl. I wonder if he gets a fine every time he's on camera during a game as well.
Surely a game counts as one instance.
I'm sure Mrs. Boland's sitting at home saying, please, we need to buy a home or buy a second home.
Well, I think it might be a factor when he goes to renegotiate with the Kingsway as well. Anyway, that's for the second half. Right now, this game is very delicately poised. The first goal could be ever so important as Tyler Garner. So a drifting attempt from distance that is claimed by Langdon. This one feels like it's got more than the odd goal in it, though. It's been an open game. We've seen both teams willing to, as you pointed out earlier, very correctly, Mossy, take a few risks to try and win the match rather than be overly conservative.
Yeah, that's right. And you get the feeling that the first half is building that foundation for something special to happen in the second half. Neither team will want to go out at this stage. Both teams will have a go at each other, there's no doubt, but it's just been that game of transition. It's been a scrappy first half, which have created the opportunities.
Sampson's pass initially starting the attack as it's whipped in by Annis. It tumbles on. And the attempt at a shot blocked away once. Garner. Matiang just caught under the cross. Follow-up. Volleyed from the edge of the penalty area. The home fans sensing that Brisbane City need their support here. They're getting as noisy as they have been all game. Punts from Richards. Matiang looking for Labib. Labib, he's not afraid to try on a tight angle. He wants to improve it here. Turned onto his left, blocked immediately. Garner. Well, it was a cross shot. And as it bends across the face, it won't go out. And now Garner has jumped illegally against his marker. Well, that attack it had phase after phase, but they got progressively less dangerous.
Yeah, they did. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's the cutting edge, and that's what both teams have lacked so far. They've worked their way into the opposition boxes. As we see that foul from Garner, I don't think you can have any complaints whatsoever. He was late to the challenge. But they're working their way to the opposition box quite well, both teams. As I said, mainly in moments of transition. It's the cutting edge that's lacking. What's on the end of it? We have seen one really good stop from Josh Langdon, that reflex save from Joe Hobson. We've seen Kai Bolton unleashed from the edge of the box or just outside the box. Sinagra got down well to that, but other than those two chances, the others have been sort of half chances.
Second ball is on here with a slip, opening the door for Kai Bolton. A big deflection, and it's set up kindly for Sinagra. When he's left in space, he's not afraid to shoot on sight.
No, he's definitely not, and you can see Paxson punch behind that left foot. So why wouldn't he?
Got to play it down here for Kingsway. Being assessed by the referee. Looks like we'll be potentially restarting play with the drop ball as a result. It's Aaron Williams playing his 50th club game, as I mentioned, for Olympic Kingsway, the veteran. He's been to the Cup, the national rounds with the Oakley Cannons in the past and been a key part of Cup sets when they were beating Sydney FC, but now he finds himself back in WA, back in his home state, and again, going on a good Cup run. He'll be hoping that it isn't ending after 37 minutes tonight. Seems to be back up and running here. Kingsway trying to venture forward in the meantime. Garner squeezes it out to the right. Oxborough's in behind. And the flag goes up. He did look like he might have stolen a metre or two. And, well, problems here for Ethan Doherty, who's taken a knock to the back of the head. Now referee Zach Keenan is discussing it with his teammates. The doctor's out immediately here, so This one's really caught Ethan Doherty in a bad way.
Yeah, I didn't see the contact with Doherty, but he certainly looks uncomfortable, doesn't he? Oh, there he just comes down awkwardly. So it's really the turf that's caused the problems rather than any contact from an opposition player. You can be very uncomfortable when you're coming down from a height, challenging for an aerial ball. And, the medical staff will check him for any dizziness.
Well done by David Mitchell, the team doctor. Getting out there to apply a bit of treatment, and well, he saw, hopefully there's nothing more to it than the shock and maybe a bit of whiplash. That's probably what Peter Gaffney's contemplating on the sidelines. Bilal Sadazai started and played the full game against Olympic FC as a defender in the round of 32. So they do have a ready-made replacement on the bench, but Doherty's very much been a key to preserving the 0-0 scoreline so far. And indeed, he's waved back onto the pitch now. So, can either team strike in 6 minutes of regulation before half-time? Aaron Williams, he's had his own concern in this half, but he seems to have shaken it off. Labib. Yokoyama. Budnic. A little ambitious taking the game on. Oxborough came in and took the ball off his feet. But around the corner, he's potentially coughed possession up here. Neither team wants to keep the ball. And now brought to ground by Bolton. Nearly got his pocket picked. It's been squeezed through. Bolton! Foiled on the line, and it sits up Galindo denied. Brilliant save by Sinagra. And both keepers have had a massive moment where you wouldn't expect them to pull off a miracle save.
I think there was 2 miracle saves in that from Sinagra at the first attempt and the second. And it's that man Hobson. There's the first save. Comes off his foot there. There's the second one. That is absolutely brilliant goalkeeping from Sinagra. Just to give Josh Langdon down the other end a little bit of whatever you can do, I can do better. Brilliant goalmouth action.
Well, now it's Brisbane City's turn to be in disbelief that they haven't scored. You can catch a shin, you can catch a foot. That could have so easily been an own goal. Never mind the 2 shots that came in. That ball from left to middle through the 6-yard box somehow stayed out and sat up for the chance for Galindo to shoot. So Brisbane City, they've got a bit of momentum behind them here. They want to capitalise and make it count. Budnic. Straight to Labib. Labib's pass is a little shallow. Love Samira. Can't find a way through. Hobson is going to watch Langdon come out and collect it at the edge of his penalty area.
Any criticism the 2 coaches may have of their respective sides won't include their 2 goalkeepers at half-time. If not for them, the scoreline could be very different.
Love Samira. Saw the run of Corey Brown from a long way out and found him with the pass. Brown whips it in. Diving header was energetic. And is able to get the ball back into the midfield third. That was absolutely vital. Brisbane City will have a foul and a chance to go back into the penalty area, but Ryan Lowry there, he got down to the ball and was able to propel himself forward. He'll be back on duty here at the centre of defence. As McGrath looks for a way through for Brisbane City. Yokoyama, now Bolton! Saved by Sinagra.
They're starting to huff and puff now. Brisbane City. It's Bolton in on Sinagra once again.
Garner only had Hobson in the middle to aim for. The rest of the Kingsway attackers hadn't quite arrived in time. The game being stretched. I think it's the 89th minute rather than the 44th. Full-blooded challenge comes in. That was energetic from William Richards, but it hasn't stopped Brisbane City from keeping possession. Just temporarily forced backwards, but now they reload through the right. Racciardi. Love Samira. Plusnan plays it to Brown. Brown with the bending ball. Bolton cuts it across. First time shot from Budjic was foiled. He met the ball, but it was immediately blocked as he shot.
What a brilliant ball from Corey Brown to find the run of Bolton once again. But it seems to be that inside left area where Bolton's getting most of his joy.
Doherty, and the shot's on, saved initially, and then desperate from Williams to clear it away. First to respond, and not even a corner as the ball hits the corner flag, and apparently has gone out for a throw-in. I think the referee signalled the corner, thus the protestations.
Well, again, Sinagra gets down really well here. That's a very good save through a lot of legs. And Aaron Williams using all his experience to make sure he's Johnny on the spot to clear the danger.
Indeed, it was only a throw-in, and we've ticked into 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Brisbane City really turning up the heat, trying to score before the half-time break. From the right flank they come again. Hobson back helping out the Kingsway defence. But it means he's not up top to be the outlet for the clearance.
Yeah, I think it might just be Olympic Kingsway that are happier to hear the half-time whistle go, more so than Brisbane City. They're just starting to tighten the screws.
As the long ball can't pick out Malachi loves Samira. Calming presence of Adrian Sinagra. Just trying to take the sting out of Brisbane City. Wind a bit of clock, get his team to half-time.
You can see from that picture there, he's been working hard. Not often you see a goalkeeper breathing that hard.
It's been high stress and high demands as the half has gone on for the Kingsway shot stopper. Yokoyama stayed onside, and he's foiled by a good save. He went for it on the tight angle there, Musashi Yokoyama.
Well, the Olympic Kingsway defenders are having a go at the assistant referee on that side. I think he got the decision right. I don't think the Olympic Kingsway backline was in sync. I think they're a little bit fractured to keep the run of Yokoyama onside.
Zach Keenan seemingly not taking it any further. His decision is final. It's a corner kick. No need for any tellings off for too much dissent. One last corner. The 2 minutes of stoppage has expired. Corey Brown set to swing it in for one last Brisbane City chance. Wasting no time at all. It's a real moon ball too. The goalkeeper's been wiped out, and the referee saw it. Foul given. Saw Adrian Sinagra rolling away from his near post as the ball came into the area. And that's the final act of the half. It's had everything but a goal. Super entertainment so far, but no goals to show from either team. 2 point-blank saves among the highlights, and we will recap all those highlights during the halftime show. But for now, in the Hahn Australia Cup, round of 16, this tie between the last team standing of Queensland and Western Australia is Brisbane City 0, Olympic Kingsway 0.
What are you doing?
We're planking.
It's because of our internet providers.
We're stuck in 2011.
Same slow internet speeds.
And high prices.
It's like a nightmare.
Enough planking. Superloop is a network purpose-built for the super-fast future of the internet. You are free.
Don't take it lying down, Australia. Refresh your internet.
You are free.
Highly exciting. Both sides have had plenty of opportunities. Brisbane City, well, Kai Bolton, he could have scored on 3 separate occasions. There was one in the 20th minute where he went oh so close, and then just a minute later the ball went down the other end, and it was Joshua Langdon who ended up saving City, where Kingsway probably should have scored. But late in that first half, Kai Bolton again had a golden opportunity, but it was Kingsway who stood strong. Adrian Singara in between the goals. Didn't he stand strong, and he had his very special moment of his own. Fair to say, Brisbane City were probably the side most likely to score, certainly towards the end of that first half. They went so close on a number of occasions. You'd have to think there will be goals in the second half. The game has been open. There's been certainly many opportunities for both sides to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's something that we're surely going to see.
16 between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. The fans have filled the stands in the first half. It's been a game with plenty of thrills and spills, but ultimately no goals to show for it. And it's the only thing really missing from this tie at present. I'm sure everyone watching in WA will be hoping that the last team flying the flag, the Cup set heroes of the round of 32, Kingsway, can find a way through. But Phil Moss, it's been a very even game. Both teams will feel as though they should have scored. Both teams' goalkeepers will feel as though they are man of the match. What's your assessment of the highlights from the first 45 minutes?
Well, it certainly hasn't been a drab 0-0 draw, has it? It's had action at plenty at both ends. It's really been the story of Joe Hobson, the Olympic Kingsway striker, up against Josh Langdon, and Kai Bolton at the other end up against Adrian Sinagra, and the goalkeepers have come out on top. We've seen the action at both ends of the pitch, but it has been this man here, Kai Bolton, who's really caused all sorts of problems for the Olympic Kingsway defence and goalkeeping. They've all been up to the task so far to keep that clean sheet. Who knows what this second half has in store for us. What we do know is the platform's been set for a really riveting second 45.
Yet another of the saves that Adrian Sinagra had to make from Kai Bolton specifically. Here are the numbers. Both teams almost did level on XG. Look at that, 18 total shots. Doesn't feel like Kingsway have only had the one on target. Brisbane City will feel as though one of the 6 they've had should have hit the back of the net. And at 65-35 possession, Brisbane have been so impatient, Mossy. They're playing the early ball, they're playing long balls. It's not like they're overwhelming Kingsway despite the disparity in that number.
No, that's right. Neither team's really caused any problems building up from the back. It's been more the transition moments. And I think that stat there is all telling that there's been 6 shots on target to 1 in favour of Brisbane City. And if that continues, if that trend continues, then you'd probably back Brisbane City to get the result when it's all said and done.
So there must be a winner tonight. How much is the travel taken out of the legs of Olympic Kingsway? They played on Saturday, of course, whereas Brisbane City had their game postponed. The youngsters are enjoying a kickabout on the surface at halftime. They will make way, and the seniors will be back for the action on the other side of this short break. Second half coming up in the Hahn Australia Cup. It is 0-0 at half-time between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway. Phil Moss, as you rejoin me, do you think either side turns to the bench before the hour mark? I think both teams would have gone into the sheds feeling as though they'd done enough to score. They're creating, the game's free-flowing. Why interrupt it?
Correct, but there is one player who was mentioned in the half-time show who usually converts chances, and that's Liam Boland. And I think any sort of supremacy that Olympic Kingsway can build, you need someone out there who's going to take those chances. And of course, you know, Joe Hobson has been Johnny on the spot, only thwarted by the great goalkeeping of Josh Langdon, but they're going to have to get their go-ahead goal if they're to have any chance of winning this match. Brisbane City, of course, they'll be expecting to go on and win the game in this second half after the platform they've set in the first 45.
That was Ryan Lowry we were seeing there, one of the defenders for Kingsway, and he's going to be Lat Mathiang to kick us off as Kingsway attack the left of your screens in this second 45. Referee Zach Keenan waiting for the signal from the match commissioner, and the whistle goes to get the second half underway. Brisbane City 0, Olympic Kingsway 0, and the winner of Avondale or Apia in the next round, and regardless of who wins, they will be away in the quarter-final with a road trip either to Melbourne or to Sydney. Of course, this is the NPL quarter of the draw, where we're going to be guaranteed a non-A-League team in the semi-finals. It used to be manufactured to be like that in the earlier years of the Cup. This year it's happened organically with the totally open draw. As we see Annis playing a pass. Now Sampson. Long ball from Aaron Williams. It's going to bounce down to Josh Langdon. Opening seconds of the second half. Doherty suffered a head knock after a heavy landing at the end of the first half, but he's been past fit to continue in the game. He's up for a header here that's going to find its way to Mirko Crociati. Down the line, Love Samira trying a little back heel step over to keep the ball in, but not quite to his team's advantage. And in the blink of an eye, it's been relayed down to Adrian Sinagra. His distribution into the attacking half, albeit very briefly. Labib around the corner. I guess what we can't forget is, as good as the first half was by its conclusion, the first 7 or 8 minutes were very cagey, so maybe both teams are going to have a resettling period here at the start of the second half. Mitch Oxborough. Saw Mathiang in a gap, and he's sending it to Tyler Garner on the right. He's one of the live wires of the first half, and he's refusing to give up the ball here until he sees a pass he likes, and that's why he's able to win a corner out of what looked like a bit of a lost cause.
I thought he was one of the brighter sparks in that first half. Garner, he always looks lively on the ball. He looks to get himself 1v1. You could see there he was outnumbered 2-3v1. And he still found a way to win his side a corner. So could an early corner be the tonic for Kingsway? Mitch Oxborough swings it in. Solid header by Bolton, who's back helping out the defence. Second time ball. A wall of light blue shirts are able to clear it away once more. Yokoyama able to bring the ball out of the sky, but couldn't protect it. So Kingsway back to the edge of the box. Garner shoots it straight into Crociati. He's got a man on the outside now and uses him. Annis drives it low, cleared off the penalty spot. And now Labib has been caught in possession by Yokoyama. And the crowd rises with expectation as he pushes it out to Kai Bolton on the left, and covering defenders all flood back here for Kingsway. Couldn't help but get excited there as the crowd roared at the prospect of Yokoyama breaking forward, but
was not even a half chance, barely a quarter. Now, can they play their way through? Bolton, who had a great first half, did everything but score. He can't find a way through here. McGrath left the ball with Galindo, the central midfield pairing. Corey Brown. Knocking it back to Ollie Plusnan. Crociati. Yokoyama unable to control the pass. Oxborough steps out to the left. Hobson with it all to do. And he telegraphed his pass into the middle. Galindo picked it off. Here's Mudnich. Little worm-burning pass out to the left. And now the change of speed in the attack. Bolton digs it across over the head of Yokoyama. And Aaron Williams clears it away. I'm surprised he went aerial there, Bolton. I thought he might have driven it low for Yokoyama in the traffic.
Yeah, and Sinagra almost decided to make it a contest with Bolton out in that wide area, and then he thought better of it and stayed in his 6-yard box, which was the right decision to make. But again, it's just one of those little half chances that we've seen plenty of this in this game so far.
Great pass from Crociati, sadly for Mudnich, not able to replicate it, going from the midfield third into attack. Passing play continues from Brisbane City. Noah McGrath, bit of a quiet achiever. He just keeps things ticking over. And one thing he did do in the round of 32 game is he grew in prominence as the match went on. As other players fatigued, he just kept his tempo exactly the same. Crossfield ball not able to meet a mark, and the referee's seen a bit of a scrag there from Crociati, so foul given. Kingsway go backwards to go forwards though. Oxborough from the base of midfield. Heard the shout from over on the right hand side, Labib. He loves to exploit open space, and again he's off on a run here, hoping for the return ball, but he underlapped when perhaps he needed to go outside. Kingsway trying to stay on the attack, but Corey Brown has got his corner covered. Down at left back as Brisbane City see it. Long ball is going to require a clearance, and out it goes for a throw-in. And it gives us a chance to go down to Josh McLean. Josh, I understand you spoke to both coaches coming out of the rooms at halftime.
Yeah, I had a chat to both camps. So the message from City, well, there was a bit of concern among particularly team staff that they just didn't take their chances in that opening half. And they're really hoping that it doesn't come back to bite them, much like Melbourne Victory didn't really take their opportunities, and the Olympic Kingsway went over the top of them in that match. As for Kingsway, well, David Tuff, the message was simple. They let City do their thing and control play way too much in that first half, and they're hoping to flip the script here in the second.
Thank you to Josh McLean as we see a raking high cross. Love Samira was underneath it. Crociati extracts the ball. Love Samira turns onto his left, and it bends wide of the post with the aid of a deflection. All important, sending it behind for a corner.
Gee, that was a good action, wasn't it, for Brisbane City? So near yet so far, and it looked as though there might have even been, and I know we're not going to get a VAR replay, but the deflection may even have come off an arm, although I think the arm was by the side of the defending player. Still another half chance for the home side.
Plenty of numbers committed forward here for the corner for Brisbane City. Whipped into the near post. Aaron Williams able to stop the ball from bouncing awkwardly. Love Samira reloading through the left side of the box. And it looks as though A free kick has been given right at the edge of the area. Some of the crowd think it's a penalty, but instead it's a free kick. Barely a step from the paint of the box.
Well, Kai Bolton pleading with Zach Keenan to give it inside the area as we see the action here.
It's eagle-eyed refereeing to see that grab of the shirt there from Joseph Hobson.
Yeah, it was striker on striker, wasn't it? Hobson on Bolton. He definitely had a fistful of his shirt.
Hobson becomes the game's first player to receive a yellow card. So do you want the right foot of Mirko Crociati or do you want the left foot of Corey Brown?
I'm going right foot here, given the conditions and the angle. Just think you're more chance if you don't score of the ball ricocheting to an oncoming player, especially in these greasy conditions.
Look at that, 5 in the wall, a railroad sleeper hiding behind them.
What a compliment.
It will be Mirko Crociati, and the wall did its job. Everyone back to their feet, breaking out into position. He didn't hit it with a huge amount of menace. He was just trying to dink and dunk. And ultimately it didn't get over the wall to begin with. Doherty keeps Brisbane City on the attack, but he shinned that one out for a goal kick. And so Kingsway, 10 minutes into the second half, successfully make a defensive stand.
Yeah, here's the free kick. If you're a right footer and you're going to take it from here, you've got to go far post. If you're going to go near post, you may as well give it to the left footer. But far post gives you a chance to pull a save out of the keeper, ricochet to an oncoming player in these conditions. Trying to be cute and going the near post from that close, the right footer on that angle. Wrong option. In my humble opinion, from the comfort of the commentary box.
I've got a question for you about free kicks, but in open play, here go Brisbane City. Some appeals for offside, and they are heated. Flag is up, offside indeed. If you had seen a player lying behind the wall like that in your coaching days, their initiative rather than your instruction, would you have considered it an innovation, or would you have told them not to do so?
Look, I'm all for players solving problems. You'd have to call it innovation, because how many goals have we seen in our A-League and in world football where it's gone under the wall and caught the goalkeeper off guard?
Cards are starting to come. Mitch Oxborough joins Joe Hobson in the book. So a bit of a willing phase of play where both teams were flying in, to be fair, and perhaps that's why Oxborough has a bit of a dispute about being the one to receive a card.
Yeah, he thought he was fouled in the first instance, Oxborough, but I think it was okay, to be honest. I mean, the second one on him is Oxborough's challenge is definitely a foul. But you can just sense the temperature starting to rise. Both teams, for all their outputs, haven't been able to notch a goal.
Corey Brown to take the free kick, bending it over all and sundry, and it goes to waste.
Well, that's disappointing, especially from a player of Corey Brown's experience and quality with his left foot. I mean, that needs to be bent inside the far post for players to attack. And if everyone misses it, at the end of the day, it sneaks in maybe around the back post area. You can't be letting the opposition off the hook, a poor free kick like that.
So now, as we do work our way towards the hour mark, maybe we do start to think about substitutions. Both teams have shown so much attacking intent. You wouldn't think either team's plan is to play for extra time. They look like sides that are acutely aware of busy fixture pile-up, and they need to get this sorted in 90. Matiang, Hobson, Garner from a standing start. Matiang, it rolls on, and the shot is lashed in! William Richards puts Olympic Kingsway into the lead with a tracer bullet.
Well, what a strike that is from William Richards. You could see him lurking at the far post. He was begging for the ball to find him. It eventually did. It was some very good work. I think it was Matiang to just usher the ball into that wide post area, that back post area. And William Richards gets a good first touch on the Hahn. How good replay as we see the ball go down the right-hand side. Here comes the cross. And there's Matty Young doing his business for William Richards. The ball falls for him. The first touch is really good off his chest. The second touch is lethal.
Super strike. He'd been arguably one of the quietest players on the pitch so far in the game, and yet he had that waiting in the boots.
I think it's the first time we've actually called his name, and that's no disrespect to William, of course. But there hasn't been a lot going on down his side, and to be fair, in the first half he was on the far side. But that is a lethal strike, very well taken, technically fantastic.
The pocket of both travelling fans and adopted Kingsway fans enjoyed that one. William Richards actually scored at the weekend in Olympic Kingsway's 3-1 win against Fremantle City, and it was his first goal of the season. So also scored in the round 7 match against Balcatta-Etna that helped qualify Kingsway for the national round. So he's only popped up for 3 goals this season, but all 3 of them have been pretty important. Perhaps none more so than that one. And now Brisbane City find themselves trailing. And Kingsway, as things stand, would be the first team from WA through to the quarterfinals of the Australia Cup since Perth Glory in 2015. Such has been the drought for teams from the Sandgrove Estate in this competition. I see a foul here and a free kick in a dangerous position. It's clumsy defending, and Bolton draws a set piece in a dangerous position.
Yep, it's good play from Brisbane City, a good retort to the goal. I should have mentioned too, Tyler Garner, no surprise that the cross for the goal for Olympic Kingsway came from him. As we see Kai Bolton drawing the foul. Tyler Garner, for me, in the first half was Olympic Kingsway's brightest player. He delivered that ball for William Richards for that go-ahead goal.
Drifted in and across the face, the header. Clisden was asking for a corner, but it's his last touch. So the chance goes begging for Brisbane City. They've got 30 minutes and a full bench to do something about it. Often you see substitutions in the aftermath of a goal, but the same 11 that started the game is still out there for the home side.
Well, it now becomes a mindset thing, doesn't it? A piece from Olympic Kingsway. Do they try and protect this lead, or do they bring Big Liam Boland on and try and extend this lead?
Crociati doing his best to avoid the lead being extended. Loves Samira. Got into a pile-up of bodies. McGrath. Back to his captain. Galindo. That space really well in midfield. And he glides forward here. Mudnich. And the groans tell the story. It's not quite on the same wavelength as Love Samira.
No, well, he couldn't turn and face the target quick enough. Galindo to pick out the run. He needed an option to bounce it first time with his back to goal.
Corey Brown to the left flank. Weaving run here, and a deflected attempt finds its way out from Bolton.
Well, that's all well and good, and that was good work from Corey Brown. Good first touch inside, good release, but that's not where they want Bolton doing his work. They need him inside the box, within the width of the posts at best, because that's where the goals will come.
Brown's corner, allowed to bounce in the box, but that's because it was a wild outswinger that found its way out of the penalty area, posing no great threat to the Kingsway target. Diagonal ball, great touch by Brown, crosses immediately, and the equalizer comes for Ethan Doherty. He willed himself onto the ball, beat 2 defenders, and equalizes for Brisbane City.
Well, that's what you call intent, conviction, belief, and a never say die attitude, because Ethan Doherty was second, third choice favourite to get to that ball. It was brilliant work on the left-hand side on the Hahn. How good replay from Corey Brown. Look at this for a first touch to set himself up for the second, and then Wooshka, no backswing, lifts it into a fantastic area, and Doherty just makes it his own to get his side back on level terms. Fantastic goal from the big defender.
And the response from Kingsway is to bring off Hobson and bring on the all-time top scorer in the Australian Cup. 15 goals to his name. Liam Boland enters the fray. But Brisbane City, they were behind for just 6 minutes, Mossy, so they've restored parity in very short order.
Yeah, that's a really good response. It's exactly what you want as a coach from your team, is not to lose belief. It's a wonderful goal. I mean, Doherty was forward because of the earlier set piece, and he stayed forward, and it paid some very, very handsome dividends.
It's Doherty's first goal in the Cup. He's only scored the one in the league this season, so two rare goal scorers have popped up in an exchange here in the early to mid stages of the second half. Now the game continues to develop. Long range free kick here for Kingsway. Malachi loves Samira. He's going to back his speed, and the home fans know what he can do, but perhaps Labib did too, and he got across to clear. Now it'll be a Kingsway throw, level with the penalty area. Not really the numbers forward to take it quickly though. Cross is going to require some chasing here from Ghana as it finds its way out for a Brisbane City throw. Not going to waste any time.
Well, what a shift in mindset as well for Liam Boland. No doubt was stripped and ready to come on to chase his side's second goal with the opposition yet to score, and all of a sudden they find the back of the net and he's coming on looking for the winner as it stands.
Ghana hassled and harassed. Brisbane City win back possession. Yokoyama got on the end of the pass, and he's legged, he's felled, and it is a third yellow card for Kingsway. Now it's Aaron Williams' turn to go in the book. They've subbed off one of those yellow cards, but they've now got two back out there on the pitch again.
Well, to be fair, it's probably the right outcome for Olympic Kingsway, because had he got away down that left-hand side, Yokoyama, there was trouble brewing for Kingsway. Here's the first touch. There's the second touch. Williams knows that there's green grass in front of Yokoyama. Probably call it a professional foul and an experienced one.
Well, it was such a good chance. You can see that Yokoyama was desperate to keep his feet. He wanted to keep running. There's no thoughts of drawing the foul and the attention to the referee. So the free kick is taken and deflected out over the fence. That might take some retrieving. It's going to disappear into the public park. Ball kids on hand to have a fresh pill ready to go as it deflects out for a corner.
In the excitement of the goal, and we did call it at the time, but probably didn't give it the due airtime it warrants, and that was a ball from Corey Brown. It was no backlift at all. First touch, it was a sweeping switch of play. Fantastic first touch. His second touch was across, no backswing, and he generated the power to lift it into a really good area for Doherty to attack it.
Corner taken short for Brisbane City. Brown would have beat the near man. Love Samira. Went to work. Galindo finds Bolton with the pass. Bolton was stuck back to goal. Mudnich fumbled and cleared to safety. Oh, where Adrian Sinagra was so good in the first half. Some nerves there. The offside flag comes to his aid.
Well, I think the offside flag was for the follow-up from the fumble. had the initial strike gone in, I think it would have been given, because they weren't really interfering with play until the second phase came in. It's an Agra to make up for his earlier blushes of not holding that ball. It did have some venom behind it, there's no doubt about that.
Labib, goal scorer. Richards to Sinagra. Ball cleared from the centre of defence. Back pass from Labib. Sinagra comfortably enough. Working down in the corner. Labib and Samson come over to make it a 2-on-1. Bolton is one out here for Brisbane City. Oh, falling, and that can get really awkward when the corner flag gets involved. And he's a little ginger getting back up. Kai Bolton in the meantime. Kingsway with a raking diagonal pass. Langdon has done very well. His first touch brought the ball under control. His second. Well, he might have been looking for Bolton on the very, very long diagonal, but he's still coming back from an offside position. Looking a little proppy. We are going to tick into the final 20 minutes of regulation with this game level. It was only advantage Kingsway for 6 minutes. Can they score again here? Bolton is stuck behind. And given some of his battles with injuries, very much a target man rather than a sprinting striker this season. As he mentioned, he had a swollen disc in his back, which was then causing feeling and mobility issues in one of his legs. So
he said he's only got 80% feeling in his right foot, which would have music to Kingsway fans that it wasn't his left foot. But still, 80% capacity in your right foot is not great. It's doing well to be out there and playing a part in this campaign for Kingsway. But I had a slip disc in my back, or a swollen disc in my back during my playing career. It's not fun at all. You're looking at me like I'm surprised I remember that far back, Teo.
Oh, no. I ask you a lot of questions about coaching and playing career and just hope that I haven't sold you down the river, Mossy. Free kick here is going the way of Malachi Love Samira. And as he dusts himself off, it gives us a chance to go down to the sideline and check in with Josh McLean. Josh, what's the latest?
Yeah, guys, well, when Ethan Doherty scored that goal, the noise down here really was deafening. And it takes me back to pre-game. I was speaking to one of the club's junior coordinators who had tears in his eyes, who said that the scenes of fans filing in here at Imperial Corp Stadium really takes them back to the 80s, to the glorious days of the NSL. So the club's certainly very pleased with the crowds through this Hahn Australia Cup, and they're all getting behind their side tonight.
Here's the resulting free kick. Great to hear, Josh. And you're right. The people who've put the most blood, sweat and tears into their clubs, nights like tonight are what the Cup's all about, and a bit of a chance to bring that national spotlight back and hopefully snowball into higher average crowds in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, again, another ingredient to the magic of the Cup. And as an A-League club, I know from being a coach at a couple of them, when you go to these grounds, these NPL clubs, you understand the history and the emotion behind it and the opportunity that it gives these NPL clubs.
Love Samira, left the ball a little shallow. Garner takes over. Tyler Garner found Boland. Boland appealing for a free kick. Not a penalty based on where a potential infringement had taken place, right at the edge of the box. So this is where Kingsway, playing at the weekend and travelling across the country, will they become heavy-legged. Brisbane City had their game postponed. Haven't played for 6 days now. And of course, home ground advantage, but they're the ones with a fallen player, and it looks like it's Mark Galindo who's going to have a chat to the physio here. Both teams have been really reticent to use the bench, Mossy, so perhaps both of them are just starting to think that who's got the juice to go 120 minutes. I think the signal there is that Brisbane City are going to be forced into a substitution. 1,569 the crowd, so if my memory serves me correctly, it was 2,200 for the game against Olympic. So what's that, 3,700 or 3,800 through 2 ties of Australia Cup football heading to Imperial Corp Stadium. And the substitution does go through for Brisbane City. Mark Galindo comes off, and Scott Halliday is his replacement, coming on with 15 minutes plus stoppage time, plus, if we can't find a winner, extra time still to come. Boland is a lone presence up top, much the same way that Hobson was for the first half for Kingsway at the moment. Sampson. Diagonal ball. Garner able to chase it down. He switched over to the left flank. Tyler Garner loops in a ball just over the head of Boland, and then bending wide of the post, and the winger swap. We saw it work to effect on the goal. It was William Richards nearly right at the back stick.
Yeah, and Boland, he was only inches away as well, but that was a sweeping move. What a switcher play that was from Mitch Oxborough. That was a raking 60, 70, 80 metre pass into the path of Tyler Garner, and his delivery was almost pinpoint. Would have been a fabulous goal.
Corey Brown. And Labib hooks it out for a throw in.
Well, is it going to be a moment of magic? Is it going to be a big mistake?
It could be magic here from Malachi Love-Samira. He bursts wide on a tight angle. He loops back. He went to ground. The referee had a perfect view. Oxborough tucks it inside, and Crociati, the defensive speed to get back and go stride for stride with Tyler Garner and then win the ball away. Still looming. Crociati pushes into midfield. And now his pass is almost pinpoint for Kai Bolton. Out comes Sinagra to make a good save.
Really good goalkeeping, Sinagra. He had to be right on his game there, sensing the danger. Had to have the courage to come right out to the edge of his area. He did it expertly. When you look at that final third entries, 83 to 50 in favour of Brisbane City. They've got one goal to show for it. Very evenly poised, this game.
This is Matiang, and Labib on his outside can be so dangerous here. Labib was looking for Boland in at the near post, and the ball is cleared out for a throw. And for a right back, I really like how Labib has chosen his moments, not just when to advance as a wide player, but when to drift into the middle as well.
That's right. He's picked his moments very well, injected himself at the right times. It's a little bit of quality from that right-hand side, and he hasn't neglected his defensive responsibilities. It's not an easy job to do, getting up and down and inverting at different times as well.
So a good little face here for Kingsway. They've just swung general play back a bit. You mentioned that stat about final third entries and the territorial disparity, but even behind on possession and territory, it hasn't stopped Kingsway having moments of real threat. It's just been a question of execution, really. You see Brisbane City now resorting to a long ball to no one in particular.
I don't want to harp too much on that piece to camera that Liam Boland did for the Hahn Australia Cup socials, but one thing I picked out of it was the emotion in his voice and his face when he talked about this competition, what it means to him. I'll bring that up because it's the same for a lot of players. Just let that unfold, but for players like Liam Boland who never got a shot in the A-League, this competition has been the nearest thing for them. And that's why it's so important to our landscape and the ecosystem of Australian football.
Well, it's fascinating as well because you might have seen in the recent weeks Jake Brimmer officially making his switch of nationality to Malta. Off the back of that goal, Boland was actually invited over to Malta, trained with the national team extended squad and other trialists from the Maltese diaspora. It didn't quite work out. He came back to Victoria to continue on in the NPL, but it really opened some serious doors that otherwise may not have. That moment back in 2016. Who's going to put their name up in lights here? Williams with the header away. We've had 2 pretty well taken goals so far. This game deserves a winner. Good hustle and persistence here. And now the whistle goes. Free kick. The referee's going to bring it back. He saw what could have been an advantage for Scott Halliday, the most recent sub, and instead decided that I think Kingsway maybe can quite rightly protest that they've given him 2 bites of the cherry here, that he was allowed to take his advantage, and now the free kick comes back anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure he took the advantage. I think this is good refereeing from Zach Keenan. He gives it every opportunity to be an advantage.
That grab of the shirt from Samson.
That's right, but there's a second almost half foul there. I'm happy with that refereeing. I think he's given it every chance to be an advantage and then pulled it back.
So we saw a free kick right at the edge of the penalty area that was too close to the wall earlier in the half. And Corey Brown stands solo. Some distance away, but still very much within shooting range. 4 in the wall. Brown looking for a teammate. Aaron Williams with the first header away. Loves Samira. Now out to the left. Doherty, Brisbane City's goal scorer. Can he turn provider? Headed away by Garner. Loves Samira around the corner. And he hooked it wide to the left.
Well deflected, so it'll be a corner. But I just for the life of me can't understand why Corey Brown wouldn't have gone for goal from that angle. As we see the ball played back in on the second phase, and there's the deflection.
As soon as he struck it, it also caught the boot of Lat Maziang, and that was what twisted it wide of the target. It's a short corner, now dropped in the box. Sinagra up, able to punch it away emphatically.
Really good punch under a lot of pressure there, Sinagra.
Ciardi didn't get elevation on the pass. You saw him hop after he struck it. Such was his disappointment at not roosting it the way he needed. And now the counter-attack. Well, it's not coming back with interest because that was a crunching challenge in the centre of midfield to stop Matiang advancing any further.
Well, I think it's the first time I've seen Mitch Oxborough put a foot wrong tonight. The layoff was just a little bit too soft for Matiang. Otherwise, they had a very promising attack building.
A bit of really ponderous defending here from Lowry has opened the door for Brisbane City. Mudnich and then Yokoyama clumsily into the back of Samson. And, well, Samson's kind of saved the day there because Lowry tied himself up in knots and just fell to the ground. We're going to have a change. It's going to be Jonathan Leithhead coming on. He was a key player in the round of 32 against the Melbourne Victory. And he's coming on for Kingsway's goal scorer here, William Richards, who, it must be said, Mossy, was quiet for a lot of this game and yet has the best highlight of it.
Yeah, fantastic strike. He knew exactly what he was doing. He just needed the ball to find its way to him. At that back post, they had the overload. First touch off his chest. The second touch was a volley, and it was really well executed.
Garner looking up at 2 opponents. Brisbane City will clear. Not quite to halfway. Second chance though, Halliday. Brown, now Halliday. The attack continues. Yokoyama, Bolton. Halliday bending it across the top of the box. Crociati advances and he's able to lure in Annis to go to ground and concede a throw in rather than take clean possession. Love Samira drops the shoulder, gets a bit of separation and wins a corner.
Well, not for the first time tonight, Love Samira showing that he loves to get into those one-on-one situations, take his player on. He's got a real action to get round the defender. Probably didn't pick the right delivery on that occasion once he found his space inside the box on the byline. There you see the advantage to Brisbane City, 9 corners to 2.
Corey Brown wasting no time to the far post. Bolton! And away by Matiang. Tumbles back into the box. And Lowry clears. So Brisbane City about to turn up the heat for the final 5 minutes of regulation. Home ground advantage. Kingsway having travelled for the game.
Well, I don't think either side will be thinking that playing for extra time is the right strategy. They certainly won't want to be losing it at this stage of the game. It's a fine balance.
Quality build up here. Bolton now the key pass. Brown. Bolton, is he going to run out of real estate? He does. Hard against the line. They flowed to the edge of the box and then things got a little bit more stuttered. An up and under header. And a tussle. Halliday, Brown. It's Kingsway's throw to be taken by Labib.
Should just further validate that comment too about extra time. If it's going to suit either side, it'll be Brisbane City. There's no doubt about that. Turn around for Olympic Kingsway and the travel combined.
Annis wins the volley. And as far as Love Samira. And a late charge in on Aaron Williams. Yokoyama's going to do very well here to avoid a card.
Well, he shouldn't. Should definitely be a yellow card. He was very, very late.
And there it is. 87th minute, but first yellow card for the home team comes out of the pocket for Masashi Yokoyama.
Yeah, it's a dangerous challenge. I don't think there was any malicious intent in it, but he was never going to get there to challenge for the ball.
Who took a knock right at the end of the first half, was able to run it off, and now looks like he's going to finish the 90. Sinagra goes for distance. Over the head of Boland. Sampson. Oxborough. His intent was to win a corner.
It's well played. Mitch Oxborough knew exactly what he was doing then.
Brisbane City are protesting that this should be a throw. Corey Brown's argument was that it went the other side of the corner flag, but the assistant's decision is final. It will be a corner kick for Kingsway. They do have some tall targets to aim for. Matiang right next to the keeper. In swinger. Oh, and it was a headed chance for Aaron Williams, and he's normally so good in the air. That slides wide of the target.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, Williams, when he sees that back, because that's a free header. He didn't even have to jump for it. It landed right on his noggin. He just didn't put his head through the ball or tried to glance it. He may have seen it a little bit late.
Now, in quick as a flash, Brisbane City have gone down the other end. Kai Bolton finding space. Can he find a pass? He's been caught in possession. Brilliantly done by Leithhead, the most recent sub for Kingsway. Just when it looked like Bolton was about to whip it into the box. Free kick given. How many minutes of stoppage will the fourth official hoist to let these two teams know how long they've got to win it? Ball whipped in by Labib. Williams appears to have gone permanently forward here for Kingsway. They're trying to win it within the 90. Garner. And Boland, the man for the moment, but not quite on this occasion. It just was beyond the reach of his forehead.
Well, you just thought for a split second, didn't you, it was going to be a Boland magic moment, but he couldn't quite stretch the neck enough to get on the end of that delivery. It was a good moment for Olympic Kingsway too.
Well, I like this from Kingsway. It looks as though Aaron Williams has dropped back into defence for now, but when they're in possession, he's charging forward, almost to play as a second target man up there. Word from Josh down on the sidelines is it's going to be 4 additional minutes, and indeed the fourth official lifts up the board to show us as much. Free kick here for Kingsway, and a chance to commit some numbers forward. And don't the home fans protest?
Yeah, I think that's a good decision again by Zach Keenan, our referee tonight. I think he's had a good game. Zach Keenan. This is a big moment potentially. The left foot of Mitch Oxborough. And the aerial threat of William Boland et al.
Whips it into a pack of players. It's an up and under header. Got it back into the traffic. Brisbane City clear. They're not going to be able to counter. Garner bides his time in possession. Tyler Garner. And now he gets caught on the ball. But it's given straight back. Oxborough whips it in. And Langdon, who's not had a great deal to do in the second half, is ready when called upon. And now he hurls it out to Kai Bolton. Only got the armour ahead of the ball. And a free kick against Leithhead. And the card for the sub.
Again, it's probably not a bad foul by Leithhead.
Well, Kai Bolton's hurt.
Looks like he might have come down awkwardly on his arm. Maybe his elbow, as we'll see here on the replay. Can't see too much in that.
Well, if he has a pre-existing
shoulder
injury, that might be the concern here.
He doesn't look real comfortable. But Aaron Williams was caught forward because of the set piece. So Kingsway were a little bit light on at the back. So from a team perspective, not a bad foul to give away.
Where it was an attacking set piece at one end for Kingsway, now it's an attacking set piece for Brisbane City. Safe to say, Mossy, with some of the free kicks they've had, and they've had 9 corners, but also some of the free kicks, they haven't really made the most of them so far in the game, Brisbane City.
No. You're almost willing the commentator's curse to happen, aren't you?
Well, it's, you know, let's see.
This could be the one.
If the pressure of a ticking clock causes them to sharpen up right at the end of the night, we're going to get more than the allocated 4 minutes. Because there was a yellow card, Kai Bolton is under no obligation to leave the pitch after receiving treatment. So they're going to give him every chance of continuing in the game. But look at some of the anguish on his face would suggest that it's going to be difficult to do so.
Yeah, well, it looks as though they're treating the shoulder area. Can't really see from this angle. The way he's holding that arm, yeah, it looks like his night's done.
It's a big loss for Brisbane City, given what an outlet he's been. First half he was quite prominent with some of the chances on goal. And so who comes on for potentially just a cameo, potentially 30 more minutes? They don't want to take this free kick 10 versus 11, especially due to the potential for a counter-attack from Kingsway here. They'll want this sub to be out there on the pitch. it's going to be Jack Waldock, the number 7, coming on. So here comes Waldock. He can make an instant hero of himself here, potentially. He joins the line of players waiting under this Corey Brown free kick. Here it comes from Brown. And the header is across the face. It was Plusnen leaning into the ball. Had no real direction on it. The attack continues, though, for Brisbane City. A big rise at the far post. It was blazed across the face.
Well, there would have been one player with his heart in his throat there, and it would have been Aaron Williams, because he slipped in that wide area. And that gave Brisbane City the chance to regurgitate an opportunity. Couldn't make the most of it, though, on the back post.
You'd think at least a minute, if not 90 more seconds to come here. Hard foul. Chance for Olympic Kingsway to go forward.
Well, is this the moment? Is this the moment, Teo?
Yellow card for Scott Halliday. And that is a pretty ruthless challenge coming in. Apologies, it's Ollie Plusnen, not Scott Halliday, who has received the yellow card. So Plusnen's in the book. So Oxborough to take the free kick. Is this Kingsway's moment? Oxborough's free kick. Doherty gets it away. There was a pile-up away from the fall of the ball. Matiang, referee, waves away handball, shouts. Garner, can he run it down? He's the man Kingsway want. He gets across in. Doherty rises to the header. Leithhead. Back to Labib. They venture forward again. Brisbane City holding firm. Now they can counter. Love Samira. Knocks it out in front, as is his characteristic, and he's wiped out. Free kick, yellow card. One last chance for Brisbane City.
Oh, it's all happening. Free kicks at both ends, breakaway transition moments. This is actually in a very good area for Brisbane City. If they can get the delivery right here, they can cause all sorts of problems for that Olympic Kingsway defence.
That's what he loves to do, Malachi loves Samira. The big touch out in front and just turn it into a straight line sprint. And Plant Matiang went and fouled him.
He had to be up for the chase, didn't he? But for Love Samira to have that sort of energy at this stage of the game, it's a credit to his engines.
So we've gone 2 minutes beyond the allocated 4. We've already had one free kick from almost an identical position just a couple of minutes ago. So can Corey Brown get this one spot on to win it for Brisbane City? Doherty's up, and it's cleared outside the penalty area. Mudnich drops it at the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header by Lowry. And that will take us to extra time. Olympic Kingsway stand tall on the final defensive set piece. And 30 more minutes of cup football will be required to determine whether it is Brisbane City for Queensland or Olympic Kingsway for Perth who advance to the quarterfinals. Because after 90 minutes, it's Brisbane City 1, Olympic Kingsway 1. Phil Moss, you can see the disappointment written on the faces of both teams. They both went for it, and you called it. You didn't say either team was playing for extra time, and sure enough, both teams had chances, were creating, and were still going for it right until the end of 96 minutes.
They were, weren't they? I think Brisbane City will be the more disappointed of both sides that it's got to this point, because they probably had the clearer chances throughout the game. They certainly had the territorial advantage. But really, the goalkeepers played their role, particularly in the first half. And now you would have to back extra time being less of a burden to Brisbane City based on the fact they've had a week off. They haven't travelled. Had the weekend game off to freshen up, and they had a full week of preparation, where Olympic Kingsway had to play on the weekend and the travel from Western Australia. But stranger things have happened.
I've got to ask you, given what a great spectacle we've been treated to, is there now a risk that Kingsway play for penalties? I don't want to speak it into existence, Mossy, but will it cross their mind at a certain minute mark, or maybe if they start to see certain indicators of fatigue, that they'll have to take a bit more of a conservative approach? Or do you think they continue to play in the spirit of the 90 we've just seen?
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I think they'll start extra time in the spirit of the 90 we've just seen, but certainly, as you said, if you see certain indicators of fatigue starting to creep in, well, then the mindset can change, sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously, but certainly Brisbane City, you would imagine, will be the fresher of the two teams going into this period of the game.
So the huddles for the respective sides. Kingsway still have plenty of subs to turn to. Brisbane City brought on Halliday and Waldock, and that was a forced change due to the injury to Kai Bolden. Otherwise, he may still have been seated on the bench. They have Bilal Sadazai, Niall Tom and Zach Rossi if they're available outfielders, and backup keeper Sam Flannery still on the bench. While for Olympic Kingsway, they subbed on Liam Boland and also Jonathan Leathed, but they have Harley Orr, Ronan Dowling, Luke Hewings, Thomas Salas, and also backup goalkeeper Christian Rosano. So neither team, Mossy, was really eager to dip too deep into their bench, and maybe now we will see them do so as extra time wears on.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, that's what they're there for, and you bring a squad into this to use it, particularly when you get to extra time and penalties. But what will these teams, two teams, throw at each other during this extra period?
I'm sure that Avondale relaxing at home and maybe Apia in the team hotel ahead of their clash tomorrow will be watching this, because, of course, the winner of this game is going to be on the road. It's either going to be a trip to Melbourne or a trip to Sydney to face the winner of tomorrow night's match between Avondale and Apia. So they, amongst many others, will have a great interest in who advances here. So 90 minutes couldn't find us a winner. Extra time required. It's conventional extra time, 2 15-minute halves. And then if we still can't find a winner, penalty kicks will determine who goes through to the quarterfinal of the Hahn Australia Cup. Doesn't look like either team are preparing any substitutions. We've been waiting for Lat Matiang to just get his preparation finalised. For 30 more minutes of football, we're back underway at Imperial Corp Stadium, 1-1 after 90 minutes. Into extra time we go between Brisbane City and Olympic Kingsway, and right at the start of extra time, Yokoyama is bringing the ball down, plays it over to Halliday. And now Crociati can't find a way through on the right channel.
Well, the good news is it hasn't been a drab game by any stretch. It's been end to end. There's been lots of exciting moments. So that all goes well for the extra time period.
Flick ahead to Malachi Love Samira. Oh, the return ball might have been on to Yokoyama, but he looked inside instead. And the shot, trying to shape it towards the target, was Mudnich. Had a bit of a quieter second half. He was quite prominent in the first half, but not so much in the second 45. So he's trying to re-engage with the game as well.
Yeah, and that's a good sign, because you're right, he did drift out of proceedings for much of that second half. You know, he's got a good left foot, and he worked the ball onto that left foot quite well then, just didn't get the trajectory and power he was looking for.
As the ball bends out for a throw-in, let's throw it down to Josh McLean, because he had a keen ear on the huddles at the end of 90 minutes. Josh, bring us up to speed.
Yeah, guys, I was having a listen in. As well, for Kingsway, it's all about heart, determination and guts. They just want their players to run this game out, give everything they have for the green shirt and for their teams. Referee waves that one away. As for City, well, Corey Brown was the most vocal in the huddle. In fact, he demanded that the captain go and win the toss go to the right first half, go to the left second half, and score the winner so they can go and celebrate with their fans. Unfortunately, he lost the toss, so that didn't go to plan, guys.
Best laid plans.
Thank you, Josh. We'll keep checking in as the night goes on. Early stages of extra time. Here's Leithhead. Of course, Kingsway 120 minutes against Melbourne Victory and found a goal, so they'll be full of belief that they can do it again here. Leithhead cross blocked. Corey Brown avoids conceding a corner. Lots of pondering from Labib. Now the throw in comes. Matiang. And Labib ran out of space against the line on the end of Leithhead's pass. Conjecture about whether it's offside or a goal kick here. The referee is insisting that it is indeed an offside, and so has to be taken from outside the penalty area. It's been a bit of a soporific start to extra time. It hasn't exactly gone back off like a cracker. 3 minutes just warming to the task here, both teams getting back up to the speed of the game. Brisbane City have overcooked that a little. Throw in conceded. Taken quickly. Leithhead and Boland linking up. And now Labib in his enthusiasm to get forward. Leithhead catching practice for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he caught that with the outside of the foot. He needed some toe around that to curl it away from the goalkeeper.
That's very nicely done from Yokoyama to draw a free kick in the attacking half for Brisbane City. Crociati. McGrath. Here's Plusnen. Brown, shut down by Leithhead. He's got to be careful, Leithhead. He's one of the players on a card. Doesn't want to be too overt in his fouling.
Yeah, he had to wait for the ball there, Corey Brown. It's a rough part of the pitch, so he wasn't too sure of his first touch.
Here's Malachi Love Samira. Gets around Labib. And Labib felled him legally and takes the ball away. Referee had a good hard look, but did not bend to the cries of the fans.
As did Love Samira at the referee, and it was well worth a look at the official because I thought there was a little bit of contact there. Not suggesting it was a stonewall penalty. It was definitely worth an appeal.
Brisbane City stay in the attacking half. Crociati. And now Mudnich, deflected cross, corner kick.
And here we go, Love Samira. It's hard to tell from that replay, but I feel like there was enough contact there to ask the question, that's for sure. I don't think he was simulating. Probably happy to see it waved away.
Kingsway still have a corner to contend with. Into double figures for corners now, Brisbane City. Brown to the near post. It tumbles into the 6-yard box. It's there for a chance, and it's deflected wide. Agony for Plusnen, and vital from Williams. Of course, he was in the right spot.
Oh, that's experience, and you just can't buy it. Good delivery from Corey Brown. Look at that. And then it's anyone's ball. And you can see Aaron Williams, he just doesn't let go of his responsibility. He wins the first challenge, puts his body on the line for the second, deflects the ball to safety for his team.
And he's done it without using an arm. I mean, luck's and fortune, it could have grazed off him on its way into the net. Instead, it's ballooned out for a corner. A corner which is dealt with ably at the near post. Garner's header, though, gives the ball straight back to Brisbane City. Halliday saw the underlapping run. And Mudnich wins another corner. A dozen for Brisbane City in this game.
That's a smart ball from Scott Halliday. Really well weighted to pick out the run.
No time wasted over the corner. Yokiyama volleys it back in. Brisbane City players rattling amongst each other. Who's going to take possession here and responsibility? Halliday, Doherty. He slipped and then he went and got the ball back. Doherty blocked as he shot. And then the air goes out of the balloon as Brisbane City cough up the ball. Well played by Halliday. He's hooked it across the pitch and Brisbane City have possession back. And the shot is just wide to the left. And that time it was struck truly, but struck wide by Jack Waldock, the sub who came on for Kai Bolton right at the end of regulation.
It was a good strike by Waldock. Look, he looks up straight away. He just gets the first and second touch out of his feet. And it's a decent strike, just slightly off target. They are tightening the screws just a little bit, Brisbane City.
It's a big moment. We've seen so many shots blocked immediately, catch a deflection early. There's a clean strike and Boland Beauty rising in midfield. Channeling the wrong sport there was Liam Boland, and he's given away an obvious foul.
He hasn't been able to get into the game, Liam Boland, as he would have hoped since he came off the bench.
And this is an interesting substitution. Tyler Garner has been arguably the man of the match tonight, but his number is up, and Harley Orr comes on here for Olympic Kingsway. Fresh legs. I'm going to say Garner was still running, still creating, still a threat out on either wing, and he makes way now. Maybe that is the indicator, Mossy, that we had feared, that if things were getting particularly difficult, we'll stay with play. Mudnich into the near post and held on to by Sinagra. Yokiyama couldn't steer it into the nets.
Gee, hasn't some of his interventions been absolutely vital tonight, Sinagra? That's a really brave piece of goalkeeping. That ball could have gone anywhere, particularly in these greasy conditions.
High bouncing ball. Mattiang wants to protect it here and nod it on to Mitch Oxborough. Not much attacking's been done by Kingsway in extra time, and not much will be done here as the ball is blazed out. But yes, the sub of Garner for Harley Orr, I wonder if that is the first indicator. Kingsway might be starting to pull up the handbrake and think about penalty kicks.
Yeah, it could well be, because as you quite rightly said, I think he's been one of the brighter performers out there tonight, particularly for his side, but even overall, Tyler Garner. And he's one of those players that you just think can create something for the likes of Liam Boland.
Meanwhile, Orr's first involvement in the game is to commit a foul here on the halfway line. So we've had 10 minutes of extra time. It'll be a switch of ends after 15. Mattiang trying to weave through. He's caught in a pincer movement between the Brisbane City midfielders. Now they can try to advance. Waldock. A burst from the right, and Yokiyama caught on his heels.
It's the second time now in the last few minutes that Sinagra has had the ball in his hands in no real rush to get things going and lift the intensity. So maybe that's just another one of those markers that we look for. As to whether they're being proactive and going to look to win the game in extra time, or try and manage the game for penalties.
Oxborough's down. City have got a player with issues of their own. Doherty was the Brisbane City player who had his own problems. But he's walking under his own steam. So we meander to Woods. Half time and extra time.
If ever I've seen a foul throw in my time, that was it. Back foot was well off the ground.
Remains in dispute.
I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, Teo. A foul throw.
Love Samira. The free kick goes in Kingsway's favour. We had a burst there of Brisbane City starting to create chances frequently, but Kingsway have steadied. Langdon, it's his mind starting to turn to penalty kicks. Of course, last time Brisbane City played, they went to penalties and they won only 6 days ago against Olympic FC. So they are well practiced in that pressure cooker. Olympic Kingsway qualified for the national rounds via a penalty shootout. So they have had a penalty shootout success in their cup run so far in 2025. There is still plenty of time for an individual to step up and win it without the need for a shootout. Lethen. Oxborough. Back pass here from Langdon, who will bide his time and then clear at the last second. Budnich up against Samson. Free kick here for Brisbane City. Referee insisting that the free kick be taken inside the defensive half. And now everything is to the liking of Zach Keenan. Corey Brown is going to respond by going backwards though. Flusden all the way back to his keeper Langdon. High bending clearance down the line. Annis able to deal with it eventually, but does have to concede a throw. So the last minute of the first 15 in extra time. First time ball from deep in midfield, a little bit overhit. And that will run long for a goal kick. So Mossy, Brisbane City had some golden opportunities in this first half of extra time, but safe to say the game is now meandering towards the switch of ends, and maybe Brisbane City are apprehensive to turn to their bench because they've still only made the 2 subs of 6 available. 1 additional minute before the switch of ends. Yeah,
that's right. Mindset will be key in this second half. You know, how do both sides go out, and that'll be key for the messages from the coaches. But certainly Sinagra has been the busier of the 2 goalkeepers in this first period of extra time. But stranger things have happened, Teo.
Well, Brisbane City don't want to play themselves into a lull and give away a cheap turnover in their defensive half. They're trying to build here, but Labib is intercepted. Possession straight back to Plusnen. Is the flag going to stay down here? It is. So from the left side, the cross is defended away from Corey Brown. Bit of bash and crash. Labib charging through. Plusnen kept his feet. Now he's body checked. Advantage given. Still advantage for Brisbane City. And headed away by Lowry. Difficult bouncing ball to bring under control. Budnich can't do so, and he concedes a foul, and there's afters with Labib. And look at this, good refereeing. Good refereeing.
Zach Keenan is in there like a cage fighting referee, separating the 2 combatants. Very, very good refereeing to diffuse the drama, but you can see both players in a tangle here. There's the knee to the midriff, and then Labib's got to be very, very careful there. He almost throws an arm
Half-time and extra time. All I can say is I hope one of the photographers behind the goal at the left of screen got the perfect angle there for that photo of the referee separating the two disputing players. We are 15 minutes into extra time, 15 to go, penalties looming. It's Brisbane City 1, Olympic Kingsway 1. And as the teams have what in theory should be a quick change of ends, we're going to throw it down to Josh McLean for a bit of an update on what he's hearing from the crowd, from the two dugouts. Josh, are we heading for penalties, or have you got evidence that one of these two teams can step up and win it?
Yeah, it's those nervous times now, isn't it? And gee, the tension down here, you can just feel no one wants to move seats. You know when you're sitting in the one spot, you move away and a team scores a goal and you think, why did I do that? It's my fault. So nobody's moving down here. And you can really cut the tension with a knife, and nothing quite like a cuddle from the referee to just ease things somewhat. One thing I should mention, there's a big do-on tonight at the Kingsway Club in Perth. Apparently, hundreds of Green Machine fans have filed into the club. They're enjoying their food and drink, and they're enjoying the broadcast tonight, but I'd have to think they might just be the most nervous fans of all, because there's nothing quite like being 5, 6, 3, 4,000 kilometres away, however far away Perth is. And really, there's nothing you can do other than sit, watch, and pray that it goes their way. But I'm sure we're ending in great scenes here, guys. Will it be penalties? Will we get a match winner? Either way, it is certainly worth watching, isn't it?
Love it, Josh. Thank you for reporting in. And yes, pretty big function centre if it's between 3,000 and 6,000 kilometres away, Mossy.
And a shout out to all those Green Machine fans. I'm sure there's a few shorter fingernails as this game progresses.
Well, as Josh mentioned to us, the travelling contingent plus the Brisbane-based fans who've adopted Kingsway for one night only, they've brought a good bit of balance to the crowd. Be interesting to see which end they take penalties to if we do get that far. But we've flagged how little Brisbane City have used their bench, and they've got a double change coming here. It looks like it's Niall Tom and Zach Rossi who are going to be coming on. So fresh legs to try and up the tempo a bit for the second half of extra time. The question is, who's coming off? And are these subs going to go through at the start of the second half of extra time? They've both walked back to the bench. And the fourth official is retreating without the board, so maybe a bit of a misfire. We're going to kick off the second half of extra time. It remains 1-1. 2 goals exchanged in 6 minutes early in the second half. And it was a player who's since been subbed off, William Richards, who opened the scoring for Kingsway in the 58th minute, and the equaliser came from the head of Ethan Doherty in the 64th. And since then, it has been a bit more of an arm wrestle. It was a free-flowing, open first half with so many good quality chances and both goalkeepers prevailing. Josh Langdon and Adrian Sinagra were both making a case that they were the best player on the pitch at half-time. But since then, it's been a bit more of a bruising battle between the teams. Kingsway with a rare forward foray in extra time. Leithhead, Matt Yang can't free the feet, can't wheel onto a shot. And the ball is cleared away from him. Certainly wait on that double change for Brisbane City. There are the two subs. Niall Tom, the number 17, Zach Rossi, the number 21. Up and under header from Aaron Williams. McGrath can't find a way past Samson. So now we will see the changes, and it is Jakub Mudnic who comes off. He'll be replaced by Niall Tom. As he jogs his way over to the sideline, the number 10, the other player to make way, will be Noah McGrath, the quiet achiever in the centre of midfield. So they've taken off their number 10 and their number 6 here, so very much replenishing the midfield and bringing on fresh legs for these final 15 minutes to try and just keep things ticking over and maybe try to overrun Kingsway. So the exuberance of youth comes into the game.
It's a very apt description of Noah McGrath and his performance tonight, the quiet achiever. He certainly got through a lot of the grunt work in midfield for Brisbane City, gone unnoticed when it comes to the headlines, but certainly a shift that his team will be grateful for.
Niall Tom did actually score 2 goals in the qualifying rounds for Brisbane City. They came at fill your boots o'clock. He scored in the 6-0 win against the Mount Gravatt Hawks in round 5 and the 8-0 win against Coomera in round 6. Coomera Colts, who themselves have been to the national rounds in years gone by. Brisbane City got hold of them 8-0 in the qualifying rounds this year. Kingsway have the ball at their attacking end. Annis, Matiang. Oh, Annis not on the same wavelength of the return ball. However, he's pressing here, trying to turn possession over. Can't do so. Brisbane City able to escape with the aid of the referee's whistle, and first involvement in the game for Niall Tom.
Yeah, drew a good foul there just to take the pressure off his team. Certainly Olympic Kingsway seem to have kicked off this second period of extra time on the front foot.
Scott Halliday moves the ball back to Ollie Plusnan. Long ball down the left side. Malachi Love-Samira lost it in the air. Allows Labib to clear over the shoulder. Here's the follow-up. Tom. Second chance, and the shot is parried by Sinagra. It falls again to Rossi. Headed behind for a corner kick. Crociati's corner. Lowry able to steer it away, but he concedes a corner in doing so.
Oh, he did well there, Lowry. He had to get in the way of the path of that cross as we see the strike. And again, Sinagra, I'll get it right, pulled off a good save. And then Lowry had to keep his arms out of the way to make sure he blocked that cross.
So corner kick, Corey Brown whipping it in, and a good header away, and then volleyed by Leithed almost up to halfway. Love-Samira, the player back, he's going to go from distance, and catching practice for Adrian Sinagra. Long ball from Kingsway, Labib has got forward here. Assistant referee didn't raise the flag on the outer side. And Josh Langdon really needs an invitation to get off his line, and he did so to aplomb there. It's fascinating. Right back, Labib leading the line on the fast break there. Now he's back in position at the top of your screens, waiting to defend, and might be needed in just a moment. Tom. Clisden and Halliday. Now Brown. Does attack that right side of the Kingsway defence, but no joy as the ball runs long, and we are now under 10 minutes away from requiring penalties.
We mentioned Labib a little bit earlier, Teo, just the way he injects himself into the game. Down the line, inside, inverting as a fullback, getting back, not neglecting his defensive responsibilities. That is a huge shift, and we are now well into the second period of extra time, and he's still got the engines to get up and back. It's a real shift from the Olympic Kingsway right fullback.
Over the head of Boland, Oxborough. He's been a little bit more curtailed since he picked up a yellow card during the second half. He hasn't been able to really put himself about the way he was when the game was there in the first half. Throwing down the line. Labib leans into the header. Rossi. Brown. Flick headed by Niall Tom, a good one. Love-Samira. On the tight angle, it's batted away. Sinagra clears the penalty area. Crociati. Tom stepped over the ball. So much can come down to luck there and just a split-second decision. And he ended up stepping over the ball rather than into it.
Well, he's gone with the wrong technique. I think Niall Tom, he's tried to hit it with the top of his foot instead of just offering the instep. I think he could have just cushioned that just about anywhere into the Olympic Kingsway goal. That's a big chance gone begging.
Brisbane City going to bring on Nathan Beagley, who started in the most recent game they did play, went the distance against Olympic FC. He'll be coming on here for Corey Brown. Looks as though cramp is enough to have his number called. Not sure if Corey Brown, you'd think the player who's taken so many corners and free kicks would have absolutely been on the list of penalty takers, but he won't get to take one tonight if we do go that far.
No, and that's a big loss for Brisbane City at this stage of the game. Just the experience that he brings to help them manage this game out. So in fact, he can't continue. You can see he's cramping in both legs. Which is a little surprising given the miles that he'll have in his legs over a long career.
Crowd certainly showing their appreciation for Corey Brown and the shift he's put in. But it ends with some 6.5 minutes to go, plus stoppage at the end of extra time. Kingsway in possession through Mattiang. Crociati wins the ball away for Brisbane City. Lowry just got up to the header.
Just.
And headed it over to his fellow centre-back in Williams.
Every sinew in his neck was stretching for that one because he knew the alternative wasn't going to look pretty.
Here's Rossi round the corner. Waldock and Williams leading head first to clear the ball to safety. Rossi appeals for a free kick. Given. One on the right. This is where Corey Brown's left foot could have been so invaluable. Rossi's been good since coming on, though. One of the other subs, Jack Waldock, will take this free kick. Right-footed. See players lining up in the box. Ready to advance onto the ball. Waldock drifts it in, and it's Boland back helping out the defence. Sampson rises to nod the ball on another 10 metres. And now the back pass here is a little dangerous, and Labib, you mentioned his engine, Mossy. Oh, he was motoring towards that one, but didn't get there before the clearance in the nick of time. Williams. Leithhead collapsed to the ground. No free kick. Tom working with Crociati. Can't find a way past Harley Orr. Now urging to shoot. The ball is laid off through the left. A low cross, which is dealt with. Beagley's first involvement was having the crowd on his back, urging him to fire from distance. He decided against it.
Yeah, it was the wrong option from the cross. It needed to have some air on it. Give the players in the central positions a chance to attack something.
So Kingsway take the throw in. Harley Orr sold into a bit of trouble. He tried to shovel it forward. Neither team can string a pass together at the moment. Orr gets another chance, and this time he does find Mitch Oxborough. Out to Mattiang. He'll survey the options in the penalty box. And Boland slipped out of the way as Langdon came through to catch. Will those two be facing off from the penalty spot in just 4 minutes' time?
Be a brave punter to back against it. But it wouldn't surprise me either if one team found a winner in the next 4 or so minutes.
Ethan Doherty, the Brisbane City goal scorer, has had a tough night. He had a heavy landing which required treatment for a head and neck injury. Now he's got a cramp in his thigh or his quad, and you can see a pickle juice is being brought out to him. No thoughts of subbing him off, Mossy?
No, I would say not. Magic pickle juice, eh?
They do have one more outfielder. They've still got Bill Alsadazai on the bench, but Doherty must be considered absolutely vital to the effort of Brisbane City here as he tries to overcome this cramp, and you can see how much it's hurting. Substitution for Olympic Kingsway. Labib must not be on the list of penalty takers, Mossy, because he is coming off. And Luke Hewings has got a reputation of something of a super sub, is coming on. He did score against Subiaco in round 6 of qualifying and also against Armidale in the first cup tie that Olympic Kingsway played this season. And again, I was surprised when they took off Tyler Garner. I'm even more surprised that they are taking off Labib.
Well, I think you're probably right, because he hasn't run out of engines. Juice, he's got plenty of that. He's still up and down, Labib, but he mustn't be a favoured penalty taker. You can see Doherty still struggling here on this near sideline.
This is a huge call because it's 11 versus 10. Now it's 11 versus 11, but the man wearing the number 27 shirt for Brisbane City is labouring at the moment. He's got to last about 2 more minutes, maybe 3, depending on a minute stoppage. That'll be up to the 4th official in just 90 seconds' time. As Brisbane City consolidate possession. There's a bit of a hush fall over Imperial Corp Stadium. They've perhaps resigned themselves to the idea that it will be penalties. And 6 days ago, last Wednesday, it was Brisbane City beating Olympic FC on penalties. As Williams clears. So, into the last minute of the 120. We've had parity for almost an hour since Ethan Doherty's equaliser. We're getting word from Josh McLean down on the sideline that there'll be 2 additional minutes. So, enough time for something at the very, very end of the night. Free kick here, going Brisbane City's way. Quick word from Halliday, telling one player to get forward, but look at the numbers that Brisbane City have left back. They're not going to risk everything here. Now Crociati decides, yes, I will go forward. Here's the free kick. Well, Sinagra drawn out off his line, but it's all green shirts at the fall of the ball. Oxborough, Boland had a quick look up, but saw the goalkeeper on his line. There is the 4th official signalling 2 additional minutes before a penalty shootout is required to determine whether it will be Western Australia or Queensland living to fight another day in the Hahn Australia Cup. Plusnen, now Crociati.
You're now well and truly into that period of extra time where no one wants to make a mistake. No chance to make up for it now. So you'll see both sides really just manage this out, I'd imagine.
You've been the penalty specialist this year, Mossy. The only other tie that went to penalties involved a team from WA, of course. It was Perth Glory falling to the Wellington Phoenix in the round of 32. 60 seconds away from the second penalty shootout of the national rounds being required. Samson. Where's Liam Boland? Can they give him a chance? Samson, a little nick of the ankles. They will have a free kick here, Kingsway, and the chance to land something in the box.
Do they get one more big chance? If the delivery's right, with Oxborough over the ball with that trusty left foot of his, there's every chance this can be delivered into a good area.
We saw Brisbane City with an attacking half free kick and they left 3 and the free kick taker back. It looks as though Kingsway here are only going to have 1 and the free kick taker back. So they've two back, you would say. So they've committed a couple numbers more forward. In it comes from Oxborough. An up and under header and a good claim from Langdon. The ball in his gloves. As he waves his defenders out. The final seconds of stoppage time at the end of extra time expire. And it will be penalty kicks to determine who goes through to the quarterfinals of the Hahn Australia Cup. It was 1-1 at the end of 90 minutes. And at the end of 120 minutes, it's Brisbane City 1, Olympic Kingsway 1, off to penalties. Phil Moss, I will trouble you now for your player of the match pick. The Mike Cockerell medal, of course, goes at the end of the Australia Cup to the player from a non-A-League team that's determined to have had the best tournament, and we love to keep track of it game by game involving the NPL outfits. Who's jumped off the pitch at you as a potential man of the match through 120 minutes today?
Gee, it's a tough one, Teo, I must say, because likes of Tyler Garner, who probably would have had his name up there, was subbed off, of course. Malachi loves Samira, certainly put his name up there. I'd probably have to go for Labib. I just think his energy and what he's given Olympic Kingsway down that right-hand side, both going forward and defensively, I think he probably deserves to be put up there for the Mike Cockerell medal.
Let's check in with Josh McLean on the sideline. Josh, before we hear from you about your observations, let me ask you, who would your pick for the man of the match be over the 120 minutes?
Oh, both goalkeepers have certainly stood out down here. Crociati has been an absolute weapon in defence as well, so maybe even Crociati at this stage. But gosh, I tell you what, it is tense down here. Like I said before, there is so much for both of these sides to think about. There's decisions to be quickly made. Who takes your penalties? When do they take the penalties? And one thing to consider, it's a heavy field. It's a very, very wet field now. The dew has really set in. And also, it's much colder now than it was during kickoff. It's about 13 degrees, feels like 11. And then, of course, there is the added bonus, if you're a City fan, that there is a big, big crowd that is huddled behind the net. A lot of those City fans, they've been enjoying the club's facilities now for the last couple of hours. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of advice, not just for the City players, I'm sure that'll be positive, but plenty of advice for the Olympic Kingsway penalty takers. So they'll have to overcome that, the visitors, if they're going to triumph tonight. City, well, will they salute? Will they celebrate in front of those fans, much like Corey Brown called for? We're about to find out, guys.
Thank you, Josh. And the all-important coin toss to determine which end they shoot to and also who shoots first is coming up here.
Yeah, well, I think Josh is maybe alluding to the fact that some of those fans might be well lubed after availing themselves of the hospitality
they've had two
of the clubhouse, which is nice. But you get to this stage of a penalty shootout, and the penalty shootout takers have been selected. This really is about belief now. It's about picking your spot in your
Brisbane!
mind mentally and making sure you don't change your mind.
Right, so it looks as though Kingsway have won the toss and want to shoot to the right of screen. That's what I'm interpreting from the body language, and this is for who shoots first. Oh, I think Brisbane City might be shooting first. So, Mossy, if you had a choice between which end or shooting first, I think you take shooting first every time, regardless of which end.
Yeah, it's always good to set the tone, of course, but looks as though we're going right to the opposite end of the ground.
Yep, right of screen. And of course, for those of you who may have only just joined us after coming over from the Heidelberg versus Western Sydney Wanderers game, in the right of screen, down at the what would be considered the bottom right of screen, there is a pocket of travelling fans from Kingsway, and also they've been joined by Olympic FC fans from Brisbane who've donned the green for one night only to support the away team here. Such is the nature of the rivalry, and also a bit of brotherly love between the club from WA and the club from Queensland. So penalties it is, and it's Mirko Crociati to shoot first for Brisbane City. They advanced to the Queensland Cup final just last Wednesday by beating Olympic FC on penalties at this very venue. So they're hoping that in consecutive games they can win consecutive shootouts.
Well, he's up there nice and early, Crociati. Plenty of time to think, hasn't even got a ball in his hand yet. So the process is absolutely key, and no doubt these players would have gone through their process at training leading up to this game. As you get to the deeper stages of the Cup, you've got to make sure that you've practiced your penalties, gone through your process, your routine, and you don't change your mind.
See the fan migration. They're starting to populate behind the goal at the right of screen as they all move around the ground. So, first penalty of the shootout. Will it be Brisbane City or Olympic Kingsway advancing in this round of 16 tie in the Hahn Australia Cup? Brisbane City to shoot first. Mirko Crociati. And he puts the ball bottom right. Goalkeeper not in the equation. Brisbane City lead.
That's a real captain's knock. Crociati stepping up first, wearing the armband, nice, cool as a cucumber. Slots the ball into the back of the net just to give his side that nice advantage. A little bit of belief as Mitch Oxborough steps up for his side now.
So it's the two captains shooting first for their respective teams. And Josh Langdon, who was a brilliant man of the match against Olympic FC in the round of 32. What can he do in a penalty shootout here? A little bit of pageantry on the goal line. But can he get a read on Mitch Oxborough's penalty? Kingsway a level. Not without a touch on the way through from the goalkeeper, but plenty of power. And Oxborough makes it 1-1.
Well, he's probably lucky Mitch Oxborough kept that low then, because if that was at a decent height, Josh Langdon had picked the right way. If it was at a comfortable height for the goalkeeper, you dare say he would have saved that one. He had enough pace on it to win the race to the back of the net. But the key here is the conditions as well. I said pick your spot, don't change your mind, but it's your non-kicking foot as well. It's your confidence in the surface in these greasy conditions.
Ollie Plusnin, his goal sent Brisbane City to the round of 32. And that penalty might just help them to the quarterfinals.
Strange tactics from Sinagra there.
He wasn't standing on his line.
He wasn't set, he wasn't ready, he was still stretching. I think he's having a go at the referee here.
If you were coming into bowl, the umpires would ask you to re-bowl it.
Look, he doesn't get set and he still picks the right way. Had he been set and picked the right way, he might have pulled off a save. He did have a go at referee Zach Keenan for blowing the whistle too early, but really, it's our responsibility to get there.
Lowry scores. All successful penalties so far.
Yeah, good penalty from Lowry. Josh Langdon just caught on his heels a little bit there. So far, no blotches on the copybooks either end.
So Ryan Lowry makes it 2-2, and now here's one of the extra time subs, Niall Tom, brought on with this penalty in mind. And it's saved! Adrian Sinagra hams it up to the crowd after saving from Niall Tom.
Well, that's a poor penalty. It's at the right height for a goalkeeper. No real conviction behind it. All Sinagra had to do was pick the right way, and he did that. Advantage Kingsway.
So the first save of the shootout now. Can Lut Matiang consolidate? He's the top scorer for Olympic Kingsway. No stranger to putting the ball in the back of the net. Langdon comes up with a save of his own. We remain level in the shootout, and both goalkeepers are having a big save.
That's a huge save by Langdon. No real conviction behind the penalty from Matiang. He tried to delay the strike to wait for Langdon to commit. Langdon committed, but then Matiang picked the same side. That's what pressure can do. It does different things to different people.
Scott Halliday wasting no time over his penalty. Brisbane City back in front. And the sick feeling in the stomach of the first save of the shootout, it disappears, because now the benefits of shooting first, they're the ones that put the pressure on.
Now the pendulum swings. Kingsway with a huge opportunity to take the advantage of the first save from Sinagra.
And look who it is, Liam Boland. So often the cup hero. Boland to keep the shootout level. Boland. 3-3 after 4 kicks each.
Very cool, very calm from Liam Boland. Didn't let the occasion get the better of him, as you'd expect at this stage of his career. Just waits for Langdon to commit and then slides it in the opposite side of the goal. It looks so easy when it's done like that, doesn't it?
Malachi loves Samira, taking his time setting the ball. 5th taker for Brisbane City. A stutter step run up. And a goal from Malachi Love Samira. And for the first time in the shootout, it's match points.
That's how you like to see them taken. No doubt whatsoever from Love Samira. Fairly thumped the ball into the back of the net. Stuttered run up, as you said, and then he really laces that. Keeps it under the crossbar, giving Sinagra no chance whatsoever.
Harley Orr must score. Kingsway's cup campaign rides on this penalty kick. Josh Langdon is the hero. Brisbane City go on to the Hahn Australia Cup quarterfinals. 2 saves for the Brisbane City goalkeeper. Queensland prevails over Western Australia in the last team standing for their respective states. And the Australia Cup dream continues for the Azzurri.
Well, it was Harley or Langdon, and Langdon comes out on top in the battle from the penalty spot on the Hahn How Good replay. Harley Orr attacks the ball. Josh Langdon picks the right way and he sends his team to the next round. And who would begrudge the custodian from Brisbane City? He's been outstanding all tournament and he is the hero tonight.
An outpouring of emotion for Brisbane City. 1-1 after 120 minutes. And Brisbane City 4 defeat Olympic Kingsway 3 on penalty kicks. And Phil Moss, they will go on to play away in either Melbourne against Avondale or in Sydney against Apia, depending on the winner of tomorrow night's tie. So the home fans have been great benefit to them. And as we watch the highlights back from the full game, it's, well, they're a team that has ridden their luck to beat Olympic FC on the counter-attack in the first game. They've come from behind to win on penalties in this game. And they will enjoy their cup adventure now, getting to take the show on the road.
Yeah, they will. And credit to them, Brisbane City. They got themselves back into the game 6 minutes after conceding this goal. And that was crucial, that they got back into the game quickly. And it was the creator on the left-hand side, Corey Brown. Great first touch. Deadly second touch, lifting the ball into a great area. And that